Let's see here.
Hello.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Liz.
Hey, Mark. How's it going? How's it going? I'm gonna go run real quick and say hello to the other room. How is
Okay.
everybody? Oh,
Welcome, welcome, everybody. I hope everybody's Monday was good. I'm having feedback in my ear. I don't know where to stand in front of my camera. Well, the cats know I'm streaming, even if it's not my show, and they're here thinking it's snacky time. So, should we give cats some snackies? Hello, Loki. Here, first. Come so people can see a cute cat. Come on. All right, Loki, I don't think you're on screen. Here, can you? All right. There's your snackies. If we're not here for people, we're here for cats having snacks. Oh, let's see here. I said hello to everybody. Welcome, welcome. We did our Mondays, or Mark, it's probably Tuesday for you. I don't know what time it is over there. I hardly know what time it is here. Oh, did I lose my audio?
no, it's me. It's me.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, are we having
I
a boomer mute moment or what?
no, I'm talking to the mute button.
Okay, just check. It's a common problem I've come across. So,
Hey,
hello,
Mark.
Commander.
Hey,
Hey,
Commander. Hey,
Skits.
Skids. If anyone wants to join, I'll throw the link in the chat because I realized that Skits got hacked, and I keep on sending a link to whoever hacked Skits's
Oh no.
Twitter because pot's legal here, and I can't necessarily I keep
Right,
on
you can't pay
forgetting.
attention. Hey, Hands.
Hands is going on a date with his girlfriend in a minute.
What?
Hey, Liz,
What?
my ex-wife is coming to pick him up. They're gonna go see a movie or something really like wholesome.
Oh, good.
They like go out to eat first they with their mothers. It's super wholesome. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's cute. Well, that's good because you know what used to happen in movie theaters.
Oh, in my day, we were feral children compared to these kids nowadays. Oh my gosh, we were like wild animals compared to these kids nowadays. Do you think I have a question. Do you think independence like that is a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, I think kids are a little too pampered and spoiled these days. I don't know. I think you learned a lot of lessons. I also think it depends on the kid.
True. True. That is true. I'm more of a hyper parent because my son has autism, so I use that like as an excuse.
Right. Fair. But it also you know that he needs some extra special tending that other neurotypical kids may or may not.
If anyone wants to join, feel free to hop in. So I have a crazy story. Oh, before we get to that, here at the Godless Sewing channel, I have a disclaimer. Please do not take any medical, legal, spiritual, or non-spiritual advice. This is strictly for entertainment purposes, and I'm a human being with an opinion. And if I hurt your feelings, we have exits on both sides. And if you're Spanish speaking, that's a izquierda and derecha. So I hope everyone has a great evening. I think you're all awesome. No, I feel it's important to come with a disclaimer. I feel it's really important nowadays.
It is for sure. I've watched enough LawTube, and from my professional day job, like I don't want people to get misconstrued because I may or may not give legal advice in my day job. So, yeah.
Oh, that's okay, Commander. I recently found out that even things that you say, no matter, basically everything can be held against you in a court of law.
Yeah.
So you should really come with disclaimers. So I don't, you know what? I honestly, I don't even know where to begin. First, I made a pork pie, another pork pie,
Oh,
and
good.
it ended up looking like a Jamiroquai hat
Oh,
again.
right, this one.
But that's okay. Or like, I like the hobo look. I like the boxcar hobo, the sad guy, like the rodeo clown. Like, I like that look.
Yes. Plus, it matches with all the patched random pocket thingy. So it fits in with the whole aesthetic.
That is quite literally my look. That is like my look. That's why when you like when I first met you and your name was Circus, I was like, well, I kind of dress like I'm in the circus, like a 1920s, Ring'em Barnum and Bailey circus,
Oh, yep. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. I kind of like the old burlesque vaudeville style a little bit more, but that's just me.
I did a lot of traveling, and there are still individuals that are like real boxcar hobos.
I met a woman who was before Barnum and Bailey closed, was a clown for them and lived on the train. Like they have their own P.O. boxes, things for the trains when it used to run, because they used to travel by train.
Yeah. It's crazy. And I met all of those people in Portland, Oregon. Part of me misses that place. Part of me is like, Twitter wants me to send them a copy of my ID with Skid Crusher. Oh my god.
Oh no, that's
So,
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
think
should
it's
make
time for a new account. That's just too much work. And who? I want to see that ID. Not really. Don't dox yourself, but that would be really funny.
That's like what was it? There was something on YouTube where they were like, we want to see your ID, and I'm like, I'm just of that age where I don't trust things like that. I'm
Yeah.
like
No, what is that for? For one type of complaint. I'm gonna forget.
or I think it's monetization or something. Like there's a process to be like monetized for real, and part of it I think is showing your ID. And I was just reading. I got lost in my YouTube studio, and I was kind of like, no, man, like that just seems a little sketchy to me. But I'm old school. I'm old
No,
school in
that
that
does.
sense.
Well, that's why you should start. Should help you set up so you can simulcast to Rumble, because there's no monetization requirements. You just set up your account and like a way for them to send you money. Even though I haven't made any money off Rumble, but there's no 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time. Like you just sign up.
I'm also thinking about going to other places too, because YouTube, ever since this new guy has taken over, in my YouTube studio it'll say I have 700 views, and then I go on YouTube and it says I have 200 something. Then the next day it'll drop it by 10.
That's weird. How do people like not? That's weird.
I'm about to take my views off because it's messing with my channel.
Yeah.
It's really messing with I don't get it. But maybe someone's watching me from a gajillion Zoc accounts.
Right.
But my channel's I don't know if my channel's been flagged, but something's going on to the point where the YouTube's really watching my channel. Oh, also, this portion of the Godless Sewing live is brought to you by Girl Scout cookies, because it's that time of year. Be there or be square. In front of every girl. This is a non-sponsored spot here.
What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Tagalongs.
Those are good ones.
I've been eating them since I was a kid, but I love the peanut butter ones as well.
Oh, yes. The peanut butter sandwich ones or the chocolate peanut butter shortbread ones?
There, I'm not having glitches. Isaiah, he's waiting.
Okay, well,
He's oh, here we go. Sorry.
you're all good.
I'm on my 9th Twitter account. Yes, I know. I see all the messages from the old Liz accounts in my Twitter. Facebook does that with my views. It drives me crazy because my channel is doing well and I wanted to reflect that. My views are down like 100 and I still hit 1,000. And I would like it to reflect that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My first new Starseed video without 600 or 700 views, I had that issue or different places. Thank you. I'm just glad. I think it has nothing to do with the new guy. You know what? Correlation, causation is not always correlation, but it happened right when he took over. And I saw the announcement and I'm like, you're cracking down on me, dude. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I'm a tiny YouTube channel. And I used to get mad when people with more subs would say that to me. But like, I'm a tiny YouTube channel.
Yeah. I have more subscribers on Rumble than I do on YouTube. Right now it's only up by 2, but my views are way better. Like I don't know how many folks of us were here. I don't know. I think I might have had 20 views on my show yesterday, and I had more than 100, almost 120 on Rumble.
Oh, crazy. Crazy. So people on a different platform saw me.
Yes. Yep. I know I should link you in my description so people can find you. I will do better about doing that.
No, it's okay. I just always wonder about that. Like, because I'm really bad at getting the word out. Because every time I go somewhere, I'll go to the fabric store and someone will be like, I don't mean to be mean, but you sew? And I'm like, yeah, I go by Godless Sewing on the internet. And by running my mouth, I get subscribers.
Yeah.
And at the grocery store I go to, 3 people that work there are still subscribed to me. And they bring it up every time I walk in, So I'm just a loudmouth who like promotes myself in person.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the old-fashioned way.
Because people are curious, and part of me like for as outgoing as I am, I'm like in my own head, and I'm like there, like, okay, I can make a trench coat out of this, I can make a scarf out of this, and like I don't like, and a lot of people, almost every time I go into the city, someone asks me what race I am, and it's not just one person, it's like 15 people, so it gets annoying after a while.
Yeah. Be like, just watch the video. You're just gonna need to make a video and be like, just go watch my video.
Especially when I walk around with Isaiah, it really confuses people. I've got 86 subs. I picked up a few off that last video. I'm currently rendering part of a new video. I've even got a new private jet interior where I baked all of the textures. I love your animation, Commander. Your animation is something I aspire to have, but I'm more on the hey, look at what I've sewn kind of thing,
Right.
Oh man, the temperature is dropping in here. Oh, hold on, my my ex-wife is here. I'm gonna pop up with Commander.
All right. Yeah, that was good. I know it is cold. It's snowing here. We are under a winter storm, winter weather warning advisory until tomorrow, depending on whether you live above or below 2,000 feet, which when I lived on the East Coast, nobody measured things and like, oh, you get this much snow if you live above this elevation. But then the mountains on the East Coast are not even like the foothills here west of the Rockies. So it's a different universe.
It's to Californians, it's unreal. Excuse me, Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 46 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's like Arctic cold to a California.
Where's my parka and ushanka?
If you saw how many layers I'm wearing right now, like I feel buff just because of all the layers I'm wearing right now.
You just need hand knit wool. That's my secret.
Oh, I'm wearing my wool. So I have like my hockey socks on, my wool socks on. We can, like, where I'm from, people cannot hang with this weather. Hey, Native Atheist, how's it going?
Hey.
Hey, bro, have fun. Be good. All right. Go enjoy yourself. I love you
Ding,
and
ding,
have
ding.
fun.
Bye, hands. Have fun on your adventures. Don't do it.
Be
Oh, don't do a lot of stuff I would do.
Yeah. Be 13 as long as you can. God, I
Right?
just want to sing John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh.
Hold on to 16 as long as you can.
Yeah.
Hi. Hey, you want to say hi to people? Come say hi. I'm live streaming. You want to say, come say hi? Come here. Say hello.
Hi.
Say
Hey,
hi.
baby.
Oh, how's it going, huh? What are you doing? Did you come to see your brother? You gonna go hang out with your brother? Awesome. Awesome. I want to see your rain boots. Let me see them. Oh,
Whoa.
gangster.
Proper wellies.
Rockets. This is my favorite. Oh, and they light up. That's awesome. Do they have those in size 13 wide?
Oh man, you should scroll down to Natives chat. That's so sorry about that EF2 tornado that came through last night. So, are you out in the Okie lands? I'm guessing.
I saw that on the news. That's awful. I hope you're okay.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
All of your roofs, all of your fencing.
See, it's California. It's 46 right now, and I can barely hang. What's up? Not right now. Maybe later, because you guys are gonna go hang out. You gonna go hang out with your brother? Bro, I see. Those are $6 a box, bro. Those are so expensive. Don't be jacking my Girl Scout cookies.
They used to be
Those are-
$2.50.
I literally
Back in the
had
day.
that. I had that.
Oh, kiddos laughing.
Let me have half at least, man. Half. Come on, you're my ex-wife. Half.
I bought those cookies. Go buy your own darn cookies.
There were. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
See, it's unreal. To a Californian, I couldn't even imagine a tornado like that. That is scary. That's why we pay high prices here. That is why we pay over high prices with you. Yeah, they're almost people. They're just plastic.
The mannequins.
You want to see them?
Oh man.
Here.
Get that cutie a cookie, says Liz.
You want to see it? Do you want to see its
haven't-
head? See, its head comes off.
Here.
See, it has a face. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Thank you, ex-wife, for taking my cookie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for saving me these calories that I won't have to work off later.
Girl Scout cookies are unreal. You know what? I make them rich in front of the grocery store, so it doesn't matter. Like I make them rich in front of the grocery store.
I haven't eaten them in years. I try not to. They've got so many new flavors. I don't understand them all, but I do love the Samoas with the chocolate and coconut.
There's like whatever's in it, I'm not allergic to, and because I'm allergic to so many things, I like stick to the things that I'm not. You know.
Fair.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine.
Until later.
Give that cutie a cookie. He's too busy examining the mannequin's head because it is, imagine. I think we all forget being a little person. We all forget what it is to be a kid, and the world is a very crazy place when you're a kid.
Is that the one with the spy cam eye?
No, the head doesn't come off, and the camera is so expensive. One day I am gonna have to cut the head out for that camera.
Right. Do you name your mannequins?
No, I don't know. It's because I look at them as like work tools. They're tools. I don't anthropomorphize things. That's the atheist in me. I don't like give things souls. These were my dad's friends. Like
yeah.
The first one he bought, it has an ID tag to my job. He named it Angelique Mannequin. Oh, that's a keyboard. I'm trying to. Oh, that's Mario. I got that from your brother got that from McDonald's. I'm trying to sadly revise my synth pop career. Yes, Venus, I'm in Oklahoma. Tornadoes are about the most exciting thing. The Tiger King was exciting in Oklahoma. Yeah.
That was in Florida, though, mostly. I have family in Oklahoma, so I get it.
I'll have to look for him.
Yeah, there are donuts.
Do you know I'm gonna be going in the storage like pretty soon. I'll have some Legos and some Nerf guns for you.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh.
What
But I have to go through my storage because I'm hunting for sewing machines.
about what that slime making? What that slime making?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I probably have one. I'll look. I have all kinds of Spider-Man stuff. I love the Spider-Man phase. I miss the Spider-Man phase.
Well, you can still cosplay Spider-Man.
I'm gonna start doing push-ups now, but I want to be the Black Ranger on Halloween. But I just have to have the Power Ranger body.
Well, you can build it out of foam. If you can't build it naturally, I'm sure there's ways.
That would look crazy on a grown man, though. That would look crazy on a grown man. Where, like, I think the Batman guys that wear the fake muscles look crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's better. I would rather they have fake muscles than use substances to make their muscles.
The yellow paddle rider.
Yeah, the yellow. You want to be the yellow one?
Yeah.
We can all dress up as Power Rangers. There's enough
That
of
is a
them.
good family costume.
And I kind of want to be like either the Black Ranger or the Blue Ranger because I'm a rebel. And Tommy was a rebel. Mannequins scared me when I was that age. Same. Like, I'm not kidding you. When I was a kid, my mom still reminds me, I was scared of Chuck E. Cheese. The thought of a 6-foot rat scared me because I was literal as a child.
Oh.
So even a fake 6-foot rat scared me. It scared me. You've been trying to pin that on me since day one, bro. My ex-wife tries to diagnose me. Your dad scares me so bad with the pictures of his mannequins once. He treated them as people. He loved them. Like those. That's why I like honor them because all my family members wanted to get rid of them. Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah, my dress form's name is Sally.
And cake. And it's
Nerf
also has games.
Awesome.
Chuck E. Cheese has pizza, cake, and they also have games.
Chuck E. Cheese is my favorite place. I'm mad that your brother doesn't go. The one over by our house still has the Terminator game. Does anyone remember the Terminator game when you?
Oh no, but I think
They did slim Chucky down.
They
Chucky does look like he's been hitting the pookie. He does. They changed our Chuck E. Cheese so they made him look skinny and more hip. And Chucky looks like he came off the mountain. like he's been hidden for a while.
All right.
It was good seeing you, buddy.
No, like then
I love your hair. I'm so jealous of your hair. I lost my hair when there was still a 19 in front of the year. That's how long I haven't had hair. Yeah, you better run. Your mom took my cookies. Oh, you're awesome, buddy. Go have fun with your brother. Go bogart his date. Be all up in his business. I love you, buddy. Be good, okay? Both of you too. Both of you. Be good. Bye. I'll see you guys later. All right, I'm gonna mute myself really quick because I'm gonna close my garage door.
All right. Well, then I will read the next chat. I can't pull it up. No, I don't have privileges. But Liz said, "Where are we? Oh, Skits Crasher, Nerf guns." Liz says, "Give that cutie a toy." All the toys, and there's a love for Nerf guns going on.
See, I get along with my ex-wife. It makes life easier.
Yeah.
Less people to fight in your life.
I don't got time for that shit.
I should have known better having cookies out though. She grabbed the box. We still fight about it. It's been 10 years and we still make the like, oh, I get half joke. Oh, he's gonna luck out because Isaiah was spoiled rotten because he had two parents in a rivalry. So Isaiah has like 5 Thors, like 15 Hulks, like
Toys to share for days.
oh, we look back and laugh at it now because like it's total overcompensation. It was a competition.
Yeah.
And now I own a toy store because it had to go somewhere.
Yep.
Okay, so before I venture off too far, I got sued again because of all the drama that happened last week. And long story short, I won. Because it is illegal to share someone's address in the state of California. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know. I got to stock up on the Thin Mints. I know tomorrow I'm going to go buy more cookies because I just got robbed by my ex-wife. I won't be the first person though. But long story short, I was it kind of ruined a lot of things for me. It gave me anxiety. I was like, I do not like court, And I truly got a victory today. And I don't know how to say this nicely. Privilege is in our heads. Because no matter where you live, there is someone who lives better than you and lives worse than you do. No matter what race, color, creed, pick, I don't care, pick somebody. They're either living better than you or below you. Nobody is better than anybody, at least in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
When you live a lie, when you try to live privilege, it will betray you. And I may be many things, but I know who and what I am. And today was definitely a victory for all non-racist Karens. Basically, my neighbor tried to sue me to the point where he was trying to get me to move out of my house, and he basically got it turned back on him. And the judge was like, "Why are you trying to do this? Why are you why did you dox Mr. Sewing?" And so basically, because I got doxxed, like my reign of terror will continue. When it stops raining, I'm going to be barbecuing on the front lawn. And I may or may not live stream that. I have my New Balance. And a year ago, I made a man onesie, and I feel like it hasn't got enough attention.
A mansie?
It's just one giant piece of denim. It's jorts and a long sleeve shirt, and I combine them, and it's glorious. And it's glorious. I'm more so now I can focus on things that are more important. Like I care more about what happened to Native,
Yeah.
than drama of some self-entitled yuppie, Seriously, skids. I was acting like, do you know what's so funny? I'm really bad at winning. I am that one guy you're like, sewing one. Here comes the parade of obnoxious. So I've already been doing backflips. I've got freshly hatched water dragons running around here. It looks so funny watching one running off with one of those horse flies. I cut the wings off the horse flies with the horsefly was as big as its head. That's because you live in Australia.
I don't even know what a water dragon is. Is this like your version of a dragonfly? I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to consult the book of Google.
I love saying that Australia geographically was cut off from the rest of the world, so their bugs are the size of people.
No, I think it's true. And I really need to reread that Terry Pratchett book, How Australia Doesn't Really Exist.
Do you know what's so funny? It wasn't until I got online did I hear people saying that. Like, that's the one place I haven't been where I will go before they fold my arms,
You just have to remember to not touch anything.
We live in the era of masks, and I am super Howie Mandel. And you know what? Hand sanitizer works. To those weirdo conspiracy theory people that say it doesn't, like, maybe you should try washing your hands along with using hand sanitizer.
I know, but the dioxins can cause cancer, so you got to pick the right one.
I
Oh, water
use a lot
dragon's a
of.
lizard. Thank you for learning me. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, it's okay. Sometimes I think Australia is just like California because I live in the desert and we have lizards, we have deadly snakes, we have scorpions, not like Mothra size like in Australia. I can't believe my ex-wife just took my box of cookies. I should know. I should know better.
Right?
After all,
Don't you have enough drawers in there to hide it? While you're like, you knew she was coming. You could have just opened a drawer and stuck them in.
No, I hook her up. My mom gives me Safeway gift cards. I don't know why.
She doesn't want you to be hungry.
And so I give them out to people. I'm like, here, take this. $25 a Safeway. I don't know why my mom keeps giving these to me. Okay, fancy way to say lizard. We are sheltered as Americans. We are so sheltered. And I think that's funny because I knew someone who was from Hamburg, Germany, that at 17 years old came to America and could legibly speak English and learned it in school.
Yeah, we're kind of backwards in our language skills.
And let me tell you, I've known him since I was 17 and I still do not speak German. Max, I hope you're watching. I miss you, kid. And he's a brain surgeon, a real life brain surgeon, because they do not play in Hamburg, Germany.
No, you got to have a big ego and big balls for that job, or chesticles, whichever your flavor. It's all good.
That is true, because you are like, oh, if I miss, their right arm is going to be doing this forever.
Right.
That is so true. That is so true. But it's strange. Like, do you know? I speak Spanish, okay? But it wasn't until I went to Mexico did I realize that I only spoke American Spanish. You know, or the American version, like they call it Mexican Spanish, but it's basically Spanglish. And then when I lived in Mexico, I discovered the real proper Mexican Spanish. It's the universal language, which is weird because in France, more than someone will ask you, do you speak English? They'll ask you, do you speak Spanish? Because French people speak Spanish. Not all, but many do.
It's similar enough. You can kind of fake it.
I had a real conversation with someone in Spanish, and and they were French, and it tripped me out. I forgot. Liz is our resident German-speaking person here. She's been there.
Ich sprechen Sie Deutsche.
Der Kaiser.
Hier bitte.
I only know the curse words.
Das ist lustig.
That was one thing like I really appreciated about my pops. Like one day we were in the car and he's like, we should learn to speak German. And we took a class on how to speak German. But I still can't speak German.
No.
And then go ahead.
I was going to say, I ended up taking 3 semesters of German when I was in music school because they thought I was a voice major because they had to learn all the languages. Oh, that was so hard. It was terrible.
I think that was my problem. It's harder to learn a language later in life, I think, because I've also tried to teach myself French, but it's different with the Latin languages because I can pick them up. Like with Italian, I think I speak Italian, and I don't, but I can understand what they're saying because it's very close to Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those weird things. Like I do not necessarily need subtitles. Where is my pencil? So I still can't believe this is weirdly my year of victory. I am no longer dreading this year. And so right now I'm organizing like I don't know if you call it a fashion show, but I think I'm going to release a video on Friday because YouTube has just been, I don't know what's happening to my channel. They've really been pooping on my channel. So I might do more lives because they're not counting my views. And it's hard work.
Yeah.
Making a video, and it's not just the editing, it's the fact, I'm actually making things,
Yeah, I think they call them lookbooks.
So it's becoming the baby water dragons are about 4 inches long, and when they hatch, but when they grow, they're about 18. Lots of people keep them as pets. They tame easily, but since they're native here, I just let them run wild and feed them. You have a house lizard. I have house lizards.
I was gonna say, so this is like the Australian equivalent to the feral cat. You have the feral lizards.
To be fair, my house is infested with crickets. Absolutely infested with crickets. I let anytime I see a lizard, I am like, hey, you've already filled out your W-2, your W-4. You feel free to work here. You live here now. You live here. Isaiah knows when we see lizards, oh no, they can live in the house because they eat crickets.
I could just loan you my cats. Loki is like, come on, I will eat. I like the movable, snacky, crispy crunchies with the creamy insides.
Please, my house is like this summer you'll see my house. It's annoying. It's like I'm on the outside.
Your
No
house
matter
is
what.
chirping.
Oh, everybody says, oh, it's good luck. I've been back from Portland, living in this house. Yikes. Hey, Kilroy, how's it going? How's it going?
Welcome.
I've been back in this house, gosh. 09, a long time, 11 years, 12 years or something like that. This house is infested with crickets. There's one poor guy and stuck in the door jamb, just chirping, like waiting for warm weather.
Well, I would take crickets to black widows or scorpions any day. So,
I my whole life living in the desert, I never saw a scorpion. And then one day I was at the shop, I was in the loo, and one was coming towards me. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are real. You guys are real. They wait for you to be in a vulnerable position.
yeah, my sister-in-law found one in her bed.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I feed lizards horseflies with wings cut off, but I should shoot feral cats. Cats are an ecological disaster here. Am I wrong, or were rabbits not native to Australia?
No, they weren't. That's another problem. I'm gonna be sad about I'm a cat person, but yeah.
You know what? Like, we can legally shoot coyotes here, and I never would. I couldn't shoot a dog. I'm sorry, I can't stand them, but I'm a dog person. I couldn't look it in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get it when there's reasons, and I get it. I just am glad I don't have to do that.
I guess if it was like if we had, it's different because we've had rabid animals around here. We've had like crazy raccoons. I've had to get country a few times, and ironically, I'm one of the only people around here besides my neighbor who's a sheriff that can stomach
Yeah, the job.
yeah. Like there was a possum that got ran over, and we called animal control, and they were like, oh, good luck.
Ooh.
Yeah, cats kill around 2 billion birds a year in the wow. Do you know what's really funny? My neighborhood, it's comparable to San Juan Capistrano certain times of year because of the amount of birds around here, and the cats are fat. The cats are fat around here.
Well, just so I have house cats who go out under supervision and are not allowed to kill the wildlife. So I'm try to be a steward to everybody.
It's I think because I grew up in the city, I'm not a hunter in that sense. I would if I was hungry or if I had to.
Yeah.
But like I'm not necessarily one of those people. It's not in like I don't know. When I lived in Mexico, I had an aunt and I was at her house, and in the morning I woke up, we were drinking coffee, and she asked me, she's like, hey, what do you want for dinner? And I said chicken. She's like, cool, let's go in the backyard. And like she goes in the backyard and she offed the chicken in front of me, and she laughed when I turned green. She laughed in my face, you know, and she was like, "Oh, you're an American. You're such an American."
You fake old gringo.
And let me tell you, it was the best chicken I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
But you know, as a city dweller, I'm not necessarily one of those people who will you know, run out and go into the woods and hunt. I would if I have to. I'm not going to sit here in front and be like, "Oh, I wouldn't hunt Bambi." Let me tell you, if it's between me and Bambi, I would, but I'm not going to go run out looking for it.
My history teacher used to prefer saying that he preferred hunting with his 1,000 pounds of steel.
I just consider it unfair. Like, can we give the deer like at least a pair of boxing gloves or something? Like,
I want this to be a fair fight. I don't know. Those antlers on those bucks, some of them, a 10-point buck, I don't think they need any advantages.
Do you know, when I was in good old Long Beach, Washington, back when I used to drink, a long time ago. Hold on, let me before we had an inside toilet, I've been visited by a few snakes while on the toilet. One time I had to give a 6 python a whack on the nose. See, Australians are so tough. I would have been on the ceiling. I would have been throwing everything at it. Oh.
Yeah, it was a good thing you were in the toilet because I think I would have shit my pants.
And I love the fact that you said dunny. I love that. I watch a lot of old Australian television. If you hunt before eating the meat, bears, for example, are infected with so many parasites. Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, plus I've heard around here that some of the deers have tuberculosis.
I've heard that too.
Or the wasting disease, which is, I think that was more common in New York because there's so many of them, they don't have enough food. But yeah.
Is that what we did to these animals?
Probably inadvertently because we took over their habitat, so their food crops were not there anymore. So yeah, that's
Kilroy with the quote of the evening. So, no joke, when I was a kid, I loved Crocodile Dundee. I've seen all the movies. And you know what? We need to stop canceling people. When you get old, you become opinionated and you say crazy things, you know?
Yeah, because didn't they just we talked about or I mentioned it to you how they were trying to rewrite Roald Dahl, but I saw that they were just trying to do that with Ian Fleming. Like, who's going to try to rewrite James Bond? Like, yes, they're all sexist and racist or whatever, but you can't don't.
I watch a lot of 1970s stuff, a lot of like black exploitation films, a lot of just exploitive things in general. I hate to say this is probably going to get me kicked out of 15 different clubs, but you have to take things in context. You have to. It was made
to know our history.
Yeah.
Like, you use it as a teachable moment to be like, and this is where we were and this is where we are now. Like, don't woke wash it.
I'm embracing being a clueless, opinionated asshole. I wear it like a badge of courage.
We need patches.
See, that's why I need to fix my patch machine. Do you know, if my stalker is out there who sent me the brother PE 535, I appreciate it so much. Please still don't come by my house. But if you want to send me another
one. Mine's broke. Help me. I need another one.
It's broken. I don't know how to fix computerized sewing machines. Oh. How about write your own story and stop rewriting other stories? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, maybe it's because like I watch a lot of John Wayne stuff. John Wayne wouldn't have hung out with me. Well, actually, I'm into riding horses and shooting guns and stuff. John Wayne probably would not have hung out with me, you know? Or like, I love the Chattahoochee song. I think it's Alan Jackson who sings about being on the lake. If you're bored, look it up. I'm sure Alan Jackson and I would not. He is a staunch Christian. I like his song. You know, I bought one of his jackets and covered it and put Baphomet on it. I found an Alan Jackson black denim concert jacket at a thrift store. And I was like, and it was signed too, and I got it for like $10. I covered it with a patch, you know. It sadly, it's not worth anything to me. Do you think, like, would you covet a signature of somebody that you were into?
I wouldn't, but I'm old enough to remember the days when people like had their fancy signature books and that was a thing. I don't know. I don't.
Because like I had this sports card that was signed by somebody, and I was like, this is meaningless to me. And I gave it to somebody who it meant everything to them. They were like, they're like, seriously, you're giving me this card? Like they like just the joy on their face. I was like, oh, bro, you can have it. Like, here, this is worthless to me. You know? It's like on one side, they say they want to ban discussions of it. On the other side, they want to rewrite everything as if it didn't happen. Why not acknowledge it happened? It was fucked up and fixed. Thank you.
Yep.
I feel like that about a lot of things. Also, like I saw this meme on Twitter where it said one of these books are banned, and it was the Diary of Anne Frank. Oh, banned in Florida, and it was the Diary of Anne Frank and Mein Kampf. And the Diary of Anne Frank is banned in Florida. You know, and they call us snowflakes.
I've been hearing about a lot of interesting books that are ending up in kids' libraries that are kind of like, I'm terrified I would never, if in the event that the universe decides to offer me progeny, I don't think I could let them go to public school.
Yeah, but like, I'm not mad at a Bell Hooks book. Like, Bell Hooks, but I took Bell Hooks is like more college.
No, but these were the books. Some of these modern books are like literal, like they should be classed as adult content in like in elementary school libraries. Like, there's some disturbing stuff out there right now.
We've also, I say this all the time, like, oh, okay, great, we have safeguards for kids. Like, let's actually safeguard the kids then, you know?
Yeah.
Because part of the problem is we're standing around yelling at each other about things, and it's like, take care of the problem, you know?
Yeah.
Here in PA, a school district banned a book about Roberto Clemente. I have a Roberto Clemente shirt. Like, are you kidding me? I actually wear it all the time. I just like the I like anything that says pirates on it because I call myself a pirate. But I wear a Roberto Clemente shirt all the time. That's so sad. You know what's funny? When I was in elementary school, I read books about Roberto Clemente. Hank Aaron. I did a Hank Aaron book report every year just because I was lazy and I like remembered the book. I know Hank Aaron's whole story because of it, you know, like that's sad. Oh, to kill a mockingbird. That is sad. That Boo Radley hurts people's feelings. Get out of here. To Kill a Mockingbird is a great book, and we need to learn those lessons. Like, we need to know about the Scopes trial. Because pretty soon it's gonna come back around again. You know, we're digressing as a society, and it's really sad. And like I heard, like they were banning Giovanni's Room. Like James Baldwin wanted to educate people. That's literally what he wanted to do. Kids are way less innocent than a lot of adults think they are. Yes, they are. Oh, I found that out the hard way. Isaiah said something to me the other day, and I was like, oh, you're growing up. You are growing up, and I'm a prude. I've become very Picard in my old age, where when I was younger, I was a bit of a wild man. And as I get older, I've become like more like, okay, we shouldn't do that.
As long as you had the talk so he knows how to be safe, that's all that matters.
Oh, I repeatedly, you know why? Because he's like, he's mortified at the fact that his parents are people.
Oh, so good. Well, that's one form of contraceptive management.
So we come and tell him, like, hey, you know, if you do this, this and this will happen. If you do too much of this, you might catch a couple of these.
Yeah. Or here go, grow hands on or hair on the back of your palms.
I start every conversation with wash your hands. And it's really funny now because he has a really good memory. He's like, uh-oh, when I say, hey, wash your hands, and he's like, something serious is about to happen.
What did I
Like,
do?
I'm about to get the speech. I'm weird about hygiene. Not like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like right now, I smell like cocoa butter, shame, and daddy issues. Like this room, I vacuum in here all the time. Like I'm weirdly a clean freak. I don't know why.
I think you were born into it. Plus, if you've got fabric and all the dust with asthma, that's probably a good, like, you're just trying to keep yourself safe and healthy protocol. So
True. And I like live in a museum. I'm constantly dusting. No, son, you didn't catch that off the
no, who were you touching where?
That's another t-shirt. That's another t-shirt. I am this close to buying a silkscreen machine. I am like this close. Oh, and the older I get, I am literally turning into my dad. My father was this eccentric man who smoked. He'd walk up to you smoking and be like, hi, even when it wasn't socially acceptable anymore, and that's me with the joint in my hand. Oh, very nice to meet you. Hi, how's it going? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And he's making me feel old because he's like, hey, what kind of cologne should I wear? And I'm like,
Not Axe.
Oh no, I have real cologne. I get like I go. This is why I'm still glad department stores are around, because I'm old. Because I'm allergic to everything, I have to actually go and shop like, hey, what will make me smell nice but not dye my skin?
Here. Have you tried the Dior Sauvage?
I actually have a couple Dior products because they do not upset my very sensitive skin, and I can actually do a swash on my neck and not you don't see where I swashed on my neck. But I have to teach him, be safe, Liz. You know the drill. Tie a rope around your foot, and I'll tug it in a minute.
You need a help me, I've fallen and I can't get up, that like texts us.
Life alert.
Yes.
My grandmother had one that saved her life twice.
Mine did too, yeah.
And I knew someone that didn't have one, and she laid on her side for over 15 hours till someone came in her house.
Ugh.
Yeah. So that life alert is real. Like, you definitely need one of those in your life. I was feeling so down. I busted out all my old, I have a bunch of really old monitors, and you're gonna laugh at me, but these are from the era when you would put these on the back of your, in your car to entertain your child. I don't know who thought
Those are so not safe though. If you're in an accident, they fall and break. The same with those stupid mirrors.
I don't know who thought it. I was just about to go off. I do not know who thought that was a good idea, but it was not a good idea.
No.
But I pulled out The Abyss because I haven't seen it in a while, And I forgot, back in the day, we had movies that were productions, and they were so far to left field that when you saw the movie, you were like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. And they didn't give it away in the commercial.
Yeah. Oh, what?
I miss the old timey movies where it was actually a mystery when you walked in the theater.
Right. Oh, there's what I'm going to be thinking of, and it's going to bug me all night that it's not coming to my head. Yeah. Oh, all right. Whatever. It'll come to me eventually. Oh, we're in the home stretch. I flat felled all the seams. I think that I cut this too big. I don't think I need these bust gussets. I tried it on and I'm like, I don't know. I'm still scared of that part, so I haven't done it yet. Why am I flat fell seaming a mock-up? Because I'm a weirdo.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong.
I'm practicing skills to get better for the next iteration. That's what I tell myself.
There's nothing wrong with detail, being detailed at all.
Though I wished I'd done it the opposite. I like my flat felled seams on the outside, so it's smooth on the skin side, and I didn't do it on this one, but next time.
So I've recently, let's see, what have I made? I've made a jacket. I've made overalls. I'm thinking, because I'm so ADD, I didn't finish my sentence last time. Because YouTube has attacked my channel, I think I'm gonna hold out until Friday to making my video because I'm gonna do a fashion show.
Yeah, it's your lookbook.
But the undertaking of it was it's a Herculean task, and I didn't realize until I started going through all my stuff, like I have over 75 pieces I've made. And just in the past year. because the further I go back, I'm like, ooh, I can tell this is pre-surger. This is like, I can tell, like it's hilarious. So it's a Herculean task. And like with all the weird stuff that's been going on lately, like it's been really distracting. So I feel free to be able to focus back on the art form of actually sewing again.
Yeah.
And now I have time to figure out what is wrong with my The Abyss is one of my favorites as well. I have what I used to call like fall asleep movies, and that's one of my movies I used to fall asleep to. Before the internet, kids, before the internet. I love that movie. Movies suck nowadays. I agree with you. I'm biased because when I was a kid, movies were like magic to me, and now I maybe because I'm jaded, it's just not the same anymore. Do all of them even? Am I? I don't know if I'm buffering. My signal says I'm kind of weird. Oh, there we go. My weight goes up and down so much. Some fit and some don't. But I'm a skinny person, so it's usually not fitting in the other direction where it's too baggy. Like, I can tell I've lost weight because this was tight on me and now it's baggy. This vest I'm wearing right now, which I coincidentally, do you know what's so funny? I still fall asleep with TV on radio on. Same. I'm addicted to talk radio. I am like 145 in that sense. Like, I love. That's why I still listen to the radio. I'm one of those weird people. But recently, I saw cancel Woody on Twitter, and I was like, "What? Are they canceling Tom Hanks again?" But it was Woody Harrelson.
Oh, right, from his SNL over the weekend.
Because I put Woody on a patch on my old Boeing vest because I am so addicted to patches. It's just sad. I can't even make excuses of like, oh, I bought another patch. I have a patch addiction. As a pirate, I should have a patch addiction.
Yeah. It's just on trend or on brand.
But it like trips me out. I don't know. It just trips me out. Woody Harrelson, if in California, at least in Southern California, if you get busted for marijuana, like for a large amount, Woody Harrelson will pay your bail. He has done it time and time again. I swear the word cancel is really getting overused today. It's disturbingly overused. It's just a way to excommunicate people. I feel like we've digressed as a society, and there's no longer that maturity of being like, I can stand over here and still be myself, and you can stand over there and still be yourself. Mm-hmm. It's this all or nothing. It's really weird. I was raised by adults, and I'm not saying that to be insulting, but like my parents were rigid, and as I get older, I now see why. I would never say that to my mom's face.
Right, you don't want to give her the pleasure of knowing that she did a good job.
Never.
But you'll whisper it to in her ear one day, and you'll be happy that you did.
No, we hang out a lot, and I watch her smile when I'm like, with my kid. I'm like, no, we don't do that around here. Like, no, we do not do those things around here. But like, I don't even get what cancel means anymore. Like the whole like cancel culture thing. Because I'm offended by a lot of things. I just don't participate.
Right. I know there's other channels, there's other people. You don't need to like hate watch and be nasty.
Well, I
But I
do.
can't.
Do you hate watch anything? Because, like, I'll tell you, I watched Andrew Tate for a while, but I couldn't take him anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't have time for that. I just try to watch what I enjoy. If I don't like you, or like sometimes people
I find
too much
I-
on. Oh, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I find like over masculine people intriguing because it's an act. And like all human beings are somewhere in the middle. And I'm not saying that to be nebulous. I'm just saying like most like I'm not at 10 all the time. I don't wake up like this. I drink a pot of coffee and then another pot and then another pot.
Right. Plus, you're humble enough to know, like, I don't think I would ever be like anybody's 10. I just want to be happy in my own skin. I'm not here to please anybody else.
But that's why I always talk about being. That's why, again, I tried to upload a Sammy Sosa picture and StreamYards was like, nope.
I'll have to give you the link to Wave. You should try out Wave and just do the free trial for. They only let you stream for an hour. We should do a one-off stream so you can try it and see what you think.
I don't know if I can keep it to an hour. I'm so long-winded.
No, but we'll just do a one-off on a random day.
Today, man, StreamYards has got me for like a lot of money because I have my credit card hooked up to everything, and it's not a good thing. It's not.
Isn't there the app that tells you when you've got subscriptions that you don't need anymore?
Like today, I stupidly clicked on there, like, oh, here, buy more storage. I'm like, oh, okay. I clicked on the thing, it charged me $75.
Don't you have an external hard drive? Just download that shit and delete it. What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
What are you doing? I'm here to reprimand you. That is unacceptable use of money. Just space. You
And
can
I'm
buy
like,
a 5T hard drive for like $150. Now we're just getting your shoes on. Yeah, that's fair, Killer Ray.
so true. I'm just picking out. I'm already doing musical jacket and vest. It is so cool. Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 45 degrees
Oh,
Fahrenheit.
it's gone down 1 degree.
Oh God, it's snowing at my house. Just shut your yap.
Californians can't hang.
No.
They're like, this is a historic cold snap. There is snow on the mountains, and I'm taking pictures of it. That's like all those other masculine alphas are trying to compensate for a thank you. See,
right,
but
it's little pee-pee energy.
thank you. And they trip me out. They intrigue me because, like, I wear a big hat. I work in a field. I drive a tractor. I know how to shoe a horse. Like,
Ooh, that's quite how. There's not that many farriers around these days.
2 weeks ago, a goat got loose, and I had to literally wrestle a goat.
Where's the pictures of that? This is why your YouTube is dying. There's not enough goat wrestling videos.
I'm lucky that thing didn't give me a black eye. That thing was ornery. It was like, no. And I don't like, and they do too much. It's
funny,
40 here, and I could walk out on the porch in a wife beater if I wanted.
I know. I joke when it gets to like 45. If I was in New York, I'm like, oh, it's bikini weather. Like,
when I have my Brokeback Mountain jacket on, it's cold. Like, this is snow rated. I love this coat. I'm already nice and toasty in here. I love this coat.
You don't have any snow outside.
You know what? I'm like a little kid though. I'm mad it didn't snow. Hey,
Alibaba.
I was wondering where you were. It's you guys will laugh at the Californian. I'm like a little kid pouting because it snowed everywhere except for my house. It's that weird elevation. Like, I live close to the mountain, but apparently like closer to the ocean.
On the wrong side, where what is it? The leeward side, where it snows and then it goes through the valley, and you're just like, and we're done for right now.
Exactly. Which is better off because, like, you should have seen how I sent Isaiah out of the house. He has snowboard pants on, like he is. What's that? He's wrapped like he's in a Christmas Story.
that might have been a little overkill. You're making him a little sensitive.
He'll take it all off. He told me to my face, like he just does it to entertain me.
Well, that's good.
There's I told him like, because there's been times where I'm like, hey, you need to put a nice shirt on, and he'll come walking out wearing a sweatshirt. And I said, look, if you're gonna lie, at least wear the shirt and then take it off when you're at your mom's house, you know?
Right? You put the
Like-
dress suit on. Well, did he have a collar of a button-up shirt underneath the sweatshirt at least?
He obsessively wants to wear my mom. Every time my mom goes somewhere, she buys him a t-shirt wherever she's been. So he has a collection of Arizona, Montana, New Hampshire, and Florida t-shirts that he loves wearing. And it drives me crazy because I'm like, dude, you have access. He has, like, I have a closet of over 300 black t-shirts. And that's just my
Right?
black
As if
t-shirts.
there's not enough clothes in your house that he
Yeah,
can pick
like-
out something nice.
And we're almost the same size now. He can wear anything in this house. You know, and I tell him all the time, like I have to buy him new athletic pants. He's like, no, I don't need them. I'm like, no, you need new athletic pants. Like, he just gets stuck in his way. So Godless, where's your wheelchair goat wrestling? You know, that thing was a lot tougher than I thought it was. And I gave it a bear hug, and it weirdly elbowed me in the face. And I'm like, oh, I got a black eye. It gave me a black eye, and it didn't. But that thing was no joke.
So it wasn't
Like-
one of those pussy fainting goats.
No, it was a mountain climbing. I ain't scared of you, human goat. It's because everything is bagged and tagged around here. And when I say that, they have leashes and like chips, and like most animals around here are well kept. And this one was on its way to be chipped, and it was like, no,
I
thou
ain't in
shalt
for
not
that.
chip me. So I can't put my arms down. Dang right.
But you're up in Montreal, so you're just laughing at this, like, oh, you weird Westerners. You don't know what snow is.
I agree with Native though. Like, so storms in California, 12 tornadoes in Oklahoma, like 12. I wouldn't sleep. I would be a nervous wreck. The weather is going crazy. I agree. The weather is going absolutely nuts. I'm a desert dweller. Like, when it's 90 something degrees outside, I'm walking around with my shirt off. I'm like, oh, finally. Like, I'm a photo cell. I am activated. I am activated by way better. I'm activated by the sun, you know. So but I'm not like one of those. When I lived in Arizona, I met human beings who would excessively tan. And I actually met somebody who we all know, or who is semi-famous in person. His name's Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is my color. He is so addicted to tanning. He you know, and this is, I saw him all tanned up for a show, but he was like 2 shades lighter than I.
Like, but was it a fake spray tan or like in the sun bacon?
It was weirdly a combination of the both. And his elbow, when he like I had really good seats, and then I got to like actually go backstage after the show, and it was at the Arrowhead Pond. I don't know what they call it anymore. It's the stadium that's at Disneyland.
Okay.
Long story short, he was almost darker than me in certain points because you could see the spray tan they would put on him.
Mm-hmm.
It was gross. It was great. And he smelled like suntan lotion.
Tears and baby oil.
Oh yeah, it was gross. Yes, just add some. Now that was another thing that killed my dream of living in Alaska. But they do get 6 months of sunshine, don't they?
No, but they've got times where like the sun never goes down.
Because I am definitely one of those people who needs the sun. Like, I am activated by sunshine.
Okay, here.
Where
This is
that?
my house right now, or outside by my house.
Hold on, let me make you big real quick. Holy cow.
It's like an inch of snow. Nothing, but it's supposed to freeze overnight, which means it's going to be like a skating rink tomorrow, which is the problem, not the snow.
And they also have times when the sun never comes up. Do you know, I watch a lot of movies because I'm old, but there was a Josh Hartnett, I think it's Josh Hartnett movie about Barrow, Alaska. Or it might have been, was it Ashton
It's
Kutcher?
Barrow.
They all kind of look alike. Was it Ashton Kutcher? I don't know. They all, I think they're one person. But anyways, that movie scared me. It was about vampires in Barrow, Alaska. And like they basically come out and hunt this town every time the sun, a certain time of year.
In the winter time when it's dark for 24 hours a day.
And because they're out in the middle of nowhere, they can't go running for help. I love movies like that. And it wasn't even scary. It's just the thought of real vampires makes me, yeah, it's a vampire flick. I love bad movies. Like, I'll watch Robert Picardo movies. I'll watch, who's the guy that's in Breaking Bad?
From the Malcolm in the Middle, the dad.
Yes. He has been in a million bad movies. Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
In the 80s, if you see Bryan Cranston in a movie, it's a B movie. I love old Bryan Cranston movies. Like, so I'm down. I still watch the old Godzillas. Like, let's be real. I still watch Star Trek.
No, we've been watching
heck yeah,
Carnival Row and rewatching Lock and Key.
Awesome.
Oh, The Thing. Yeah.
The Thing and Toxic Avenger and the Swamp
the Blob.
Thing. I tried to get Isaiah to sit through Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, but he's like, this is bad even by your standards, and stormed out of the room.
Santa versus the Aliens.
Oh gosh, I have what is it? Earth Girls? No. Earth Girls Must Be Crazy. Oh, I can't remember. I have to look. I have a VHS collection behind all of these vests here. There's a hutch where I used to have my computer, and I have hundreds of VHSs in there because I'm the sad guy who still buys VHSs at the thrift store.
Is it sad that you buy them or sad that you still have a VHS player?
Multiple.
All of the above.
Just in this room, I'm looking at 2 TVs that have VCRs in them.
I miss those, but they're so little. And people are like having these like 60-inch TVs that's like practically as tall as I am. I'm like, I remember when a TV used to be like a little tiny thing, and you had to like get up off your fanny and touch stuff.
I have one from the shop that we used to show training videos on it, and it was so not used that it's in perfect condition. And then I have another one. My uncle, like everyone has that rich uncle, and my rich uncle gave it to my grandmother because she still watched VHSs.
Right? Because she's like, I can't handle this newfangled technologies.
Oh, it was a fight to get cable in her house. Like, she would call me and be like, I don't like this new remote. I do not like this new remote.
It's too complicated.
Yay, I'm back. Yeah. So good news, bad news. I'm going to take the new fancy job. I've been doing training tonight after work at 9:30, so I'll miss some of your show. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Hey,
make
take
money.
The new fancy schmancy job and be safe. Your safety is worth it.
We have a few of those at my job, Kilroy, the old projection ones, from the early 80s. And like I said last week, we shoot them with arrows all the time. It's actually fun, but there's a ton of really hazardous stuff inside of that. So you have to be careful when you shoot those things. So my rich uncle, and so the other one is a smaller TV. It's probably like a 15-inch, 12-inch, something like that. But the other one is like a 25-inch with a VCR. And that's the one.
That's huge for that back in the day.
Like I said, it's the
that
rich
was from
uncle.
The rich uncle. Yes. Okay. Yep. It all makes sense now. I get it.
And I'm the hoarder who's like, "Ooh, that still works. Oh, that still works." But that's what I have my Nintendo 64 hooked up to, and my Sega Genesis is hooked up to the other one because I'm old school and I like to when I play video games I tune out the world. I put my headphones on and the world doesn't exist.
Yes.
Okay, so it is extremely heavy, but I have a sewing machine in this room that weighs 55 pounds, and I've weighed it on one of my really old videos when I didn't know what content was. I like
That is content. What are you talking about?
no, it took me forever to like weigh it because it was red numbers. I had to turn the lights off and like because I have an old scale that I abuse.
Well, you didn't take it to the shop to the industrial scale. You tried to be chintzy and do it at home.
Exactly. I was being lazy. Like, you know, it's so funny. I could take it to my job in 10 seconds and tell you exactly how much it weighs.
Right, because you probably got a freight scale that you're like, ah.
Oh, I walk on it all the time to see how much I weigh. All the time. I walk on it all the time. And it's hilarious because the numbers are big, so you can't lie because everybody is looking.
Right, the whole world is like, oh.
You have this new fancy job inside $2 more an hour. Take it and run. You know,
Especially if there's benefits.
I'm sadly a capitalist.
There's
So
nothing. Don't be bad.
take the money, man. I am a capitalist. I have a VCR because thank you. I still do too. I have a ton. A ton. And you would laugh at the titles. You would laugh at the titles.
Is there Boy Scouts in them?
Ramming and jamming. What? I found my old DVD collection. Do you know that there's a certain company, every time you would buy a sex toy, they'd give you a video.
You can buy a toy and get a video for
I have a
free. So
freaking
is this the instructional manual?
This was back in the day. They if you bought I have a working Intel Atari 2600 in the second gen 1976 Pong. Wow. You know, I'm so mad. My grandmother had one of those 1960 TVs and I let someone take it and turn it into a fish tank.
Oh,
And I'm still mad. VHS
video prawns.
Oh yeah, those old school VHSs with the box where you couldn't hide them. They were so huge.
Do you think a guy is like stealing them from you and watching them when you're not looking?
I am so curious to what brand of sewing machine you have, Mark. If it's that heavy, that's gotta be like an old factory workhorse. Oh, I want one so bad. If you need two people to carry it, that's a battle axe. I'm not kidding you. Every time I would buy a sex toy, they'd give me a video, and I'm like, hey, just add it to the collection. YouTube has been a little janky lately.
Yeah, they don't look some of those words. You got to say it's terrible that you have to say prawns and weird things to like
totally
be happy with the YouTube censor schmips.
Like I say mass hooting all the time. Like I have a working Samsung. Okay, Kilroy, we are in the same club. See, I knew we were in the same club. Early mid 1980s, just needs a new belt, and it weighs more than my sewing. Those old ones are equipment. They are equipment. Like I have a lot of old AV equipment in here because I have been in a few bands. But I feel like everybody in my area has performed at the Roxy at least once or been in a punk, ska, or some sort of 3-chord playing band. Oh, and it has a remote. No what? That's old school. A cord. Oh, wow. With a cord on it as well. That's old school. That's old school.
I've never seen such a thing.
I have it. It has survived me knocking it over. A pot of coffee on it too. Those things were made to last back in the day. I have quite a few VCRs, and because my neighbor knows I'm a hoarder, one day she came to me and she's like, I have 3 VCRs. Do you want them? And I was like, yes, please. And so they all work. Every single one of them. Now I'm remembering why I put all my screens away, because the power requirement in this room, like with everything I plug in, I'm just inching towards shutting down both panels in this room. And my heater's going right now.
Wimp.
I really try not to do that because I always have a beverage around my equipment at all time. So if you'll see, like on my videos, if the coffee is across the room, that's because I consciously made a choice to not spill that day. I was like, today is the day I'm not going to knock this over. So I'm going to put it over here. So I have to get up when I want to drink my coffee.
Right, and you get some extra steps in while you're at it.
Speaking of which, I was so nervous today that I was stemming. And do you know that there is a very healthy principle to walking back and forth?
It's called pacing, and it's good for thinking.
Because Isaiah does it all the time because he has ASD. But like, you're supposed to redirect and tell them like, hey man, let's, what's going on? What are you thinking about? And usually with him, it's usually a video he watched on YouTube and he's hyped up.
Yeah.
But with me, it was just nervousness. Yeah, it looks like a factory machine. It's a struggle to move it with 2 people, and it's all metal construction. I need to dig it out of one of these days. It's buried just like everything else in my shed. Same. I don't like, ugh.
Are you going to have to spray it for bugs and spiders and snakes first just to make sure it's safe to touch?
That's actually real, because between Rooster's relics and my job, I have brought quite a few tarantulas back on this side of town. That side of town has tarantulas, and one day Isaiah's like, Dad, there's a real fuzzy spider in my room.
Oh no! You're like, sorry, kid.
I have a video that I randomly post on Twitter every once in a while to like wildlife people, because no one really cares, but it's a giant tarantula at my job. They're native to my area, so we have tarantulas everywhere, but not on this side of town. But I'm like repopulating them. That's awesome, Mark. That's so awesome. I want an industrial machine so bad.
Same.
I've seen a lot of the old Brother and stuff, but like when I see them at like the shop, I know they're not working. I almost feel like I need to buy a new one. I have one industrial that the tabletop is cast iron. That's awesome.
You need 3 dollies and 5 humans. Yes, please.
Oh gosh, that's like when I built my kitchen. Like that kitchen is never going anywhere ever. I have a giant wash tub in there. Like the entire cabinet's one piece. It took 3 people to put it in. It will never be removed. I do calisthenics for my stemming, but it turns out hilarious because I have ataxia, very poor balance, involuntary movements. I have balance issues, but that's just because of the abuse that I've done to myself over the years, the substances I've taken over the years.
That's why you practice standing at the bathroom sink when you're brushing your teeth. You hold onto the counter with the hand that you're not brushing your teeth with, and practice standing on one foot.
I quit drinking 11 years ago, and I weirdly still have drunk foot. It's because I'm a hobbit and I have giant feet, but every once in a while I'll like take a weird step. But I haven't had a sip in probably 12 years if I really did the math.
Good job.
A singer too, and oh wow! Do you know that brings me back to my next project? Now that all the like stress, wow, my old stress is gone, so I'm gonna bring the new stress into my life.
Fixing your brother.
I also I'm gonna take that old singer table apart because the wood's trashed. It's 100% water damage. I don't feel bad by trashing the table, but I'm gonna have to create a new tabletop for the sewing machine, and I don't know if I'm gonna put my singer or my white. I'm probably gonna put my old white in there. And no, Phoenix, it's not the white that you want.
It's not the one that I'm like drooling over. I'm like, I don't need a sewing machine, but I'm like, well,
I have a
Godless has got-
collection.
my auntie has 5. Godless is way more than that. I know people have way more sewing machines, so I'm like, my 4.5 is not a. I don't have a sewing machine hoarding habit yet. I promise.
If I told you how many I have, like it's you know, I used to always say that I have 60 sewing machines, and then I counted.
And you have 160.
No, I'm not to 100 yet. I'm not to 100 yet. And there's this man I watch, and I don't want to shame him. And like, so I have a weird asking for a friend. If I was to show somebody else's, could I get like a strike for showing somebody else's footage?
No, as long as we're talking and doing something, then it's called transformative. Then that technically that should fall under DMCA unless they're an asshole.
Because like there's somebody I want to show, but like it's more because I have a feeling I'm going to end up like this man one day. He owns like a warehouse and hundreds upon hundreds of sewing machines, like thousands.
Wow.
And it's intervention for me. Every time he posts, I'm like, intervention time. I need to watch this. I need to watch this. Yeah, I have ataxia, so when I stand on one foot, I swear. Do you know that's why I do my my ice skater movements when I'm on my skates in my videos? Because I'm like, okay, I still got it. I'm gonna use this move as long as I still have it. I'm not drunk. I have attack. Do you know what's so funny? Because I've been around people with disabilities my whole life. I can tell the difference between someone who has a disability and someone who's intoxicated. There's a plan on the Treadle-On website that you can place both machine on it. Wow, I might have to look that up. I might definitely have to look that up. Alibaba Furball, we watch the same stuff.
Okay, what?
Fred Sanford, okay.
Oh God, we are bringing it back to way.
I don't want to. This man calls himself Fred Sanford, and that's his channel. And I don't want to shame him, but he has thousands and thousands of sewing machines. And part of me is jealous because he has rare ones. He's taught me about sewing machines, about the I think they're called banjo type. Oh, the fiddle bass sewing machines. Like he's taught me so much. And I feel like Phoenix dropped out. Yeah, it's that guy. That's the guy. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that channel. Laugh aloud. I know all of the sewing machine sellers and collectors. Well, most of them. Yeah, exactly. You know why? I also don't want to end up like, I'm not saying this to shame him either. I watch him to not end up like him.
Somebody I've been watching has a Meister machine that's a brand I'd never heard of before.
I am obsessed with Red Fox Native Atheist. I love him. And I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. There's one of his shows on YouTube. It's called Wash Your Ass. One of his old skits. It's on YouTube. You should watch it. It's hilarious. It's not politically correct, though. I got to warn you. It is an awesome channel. It's just like there's a fine line between like you're awesome and I'm celebrating your illness, you know. Because I collect things out of over and under compensating for many of things and many issues that I have, and I know like sometimes I'm like I don't need this and I buy it and I'm like okay, this is a problem. Like my last sewing machine, one of the reasons I shamed myself so hard is because I know not to buy those sewing machines and I bought it anyways and it didn't work. Because those 90s ones were like literally hit or miss and they were all made in the same factory. Fred Sanford sewing machines, he's an awesome guy. It's just like I can see myself becoming him. I know this really angry guy, and I was very much like him, and he recently had a stroke, and it checked me. I was like, I need to change my life because, like, if you're aggro all the time, you're gonna have a stroke. You like if you let your jobs, and mainly it was job related stuff with me, but like if you're mad all the time, it will affect your health. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It is so cold. I have my Brokeback Mountain jacket on.
And Allie's laughing at you.
Also, YouTube is trying to sell me they're called satellite industrial sewing machines, I believe. Advertising works. I almost want to buy one, but they're like $4 or $5 grand, and that's what keeps me from just like compulsively buying it.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to sink onto something.
I would never spend that much unless it's a part of a job. Like if I'm getting paid, like okay. But
right, or
like,
if you can write it off as a business expense.
exactly. That's why I still to this day haven't purchased a Juki. Well, I've said a million times because it's a slave machine, but also because I can't justify spending like $8,000 on a sewing machine.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I watch a lot of content creators that have those really fancy silkscreen machines that does everything.
Yeah.
It throws thread, it embroiders, it does everything. Those are $10,000 machines. But those people start taking orders online. All of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, I bought this machine. Now, who needs 50 sweatshirts?" There is another on Facebook, Wolfgang's Antiques. Should check out the rare and beautiful ones in the picture section there. I definitely will. I need something new on Facebook because Facebook has completely, like, besides my sewing groups, I rarely go on there anymore because I'm not into drama. Like, for as much as I am drama, I'm not into what I consider childish, like unkept drama. And Facebook is famous for that. For people picking messy problems, And plus, I don't want to fight with someone I was in kindergarten with.
Or their mom.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. Like, my Facebook is all my friends' moms. Like, I was a Boy Scout. I was on swim team. I was gosh, my parents made me go to summer camp. Like, I had the stereotypical suburban upbringing. I look at people like that, I think, where the fuck did you get all that? People ask me that all the time. I come from the bank of mommy and daddy. I'm just one lucky SOP. And that's another thing where I live. Most people get their stuff through inheritance, and then they try to act like I'm a self-made man. No, your grandfather was, and then your father was, and you just got lucky. Especially around here.
Right, and you're going to be the one who wastes it all, and your kids are going to have nothing.
I think about that all the time. I never had a Facebook. I'm extreme. It got me in a lot of trouble with ex-girlfriends, just people in general. And every ex I've ever had sends me that message of, "Oh, you're not that bad," because I went out in the real world and people are abusive. and I get that, like, "Oh, you were actually the nice one."
That feels like a backhanded slap in the face.
It is because, like, when I moved back to my hometown, I saw a lot of people coupled together, and I feel like they did just because they were like stuck together.
Mm.
And I'm like, no, I refuse. I have never had I'm shocked you guys don't have Facebooks. I'm a homer. Like, I have a Facebook. I have a failed Instagram.
Yeah.
Sit down, fool. You can't make your own bed. Privileged people annoy. No, Liz will go off about. Liz is one of those people who came from humble, like, real. Like, Liz came from, like, real beginnings. I'm surrounded by privileged people, and I look at them like, you guys have no idea how other people live. Hell, if you want your house nowadays, you either have to be extremely lucky or you got to inherit it. Around here, those are the only people who are homeowners now, and the cops, because they're the only people who can afford down payments. There's a movie called The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and I feel like that. I feel like there's no more homeowners anymore. Like, people do not own homes. It's especially around here, it's all owned by giant conglomerates of people who buy, just companies who buy houses. Much like, do they have payday loan places near your house?
No.
When I lived in Oregon, they made them illegal because they owned half the state of Oregon.
But I also live in a very protected, yuppie part of Oregon.
I know many people that fell into the trap of those endless traps of those payday loans, where it's like you're just paying them back forever.
Yeah.
All my friends and family live out of state, so it's been a platform used for my writing. See, and that's another thing. I'm not dogging it completely, because you can use these platforms for good, you know? It's just, I'm a pirate, so I run into trouble sometimes. And it's really weird. Like, stereotypes are weird. Like, people trip out when I get into certain Facebook groups, and I'm not kidding you. And I've said this before. I got kicked out of a Facebook group because they didn't like the fact that I put stickers on my sewing machines.
Oh no.
The lady even sent me a. Go ahead.
Wow. That's hard. I mean, I wouldn't do that to Brunhilde, but my Kenmore from the 2000s, I might consider it. I just haven't, but not Brunhilde. As I'm stroking her lovingly.
Yeah. I put stickers on a 301A, and it was considered blasphemous. The 301A was the first slant machine. It was the first portable, blah, 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 blah. And like, I put stickers on it, and I got kicked out of a group for it. They're like, this is the final straw. I agree with you, Native Atheists. They're everywhere here. You can sell your liver, your kidney, your foot. They'll take body parts. They do not play here in LA.
No,
And
but that's just sad that they take advantage, that people are so desperate, and that companies are so willing to take advantage of people.
I know somebody right now who has been paying off the same loan for over 13 years. And then they got in a little bit of debt, so they took out. They took an either larger loan from that same company, and of course they were going to give it to them. Right. So now they own that. We don't have payday loan places. We have car dealerships that convince middle-aged men to buy expensive pickup trucks they can't afford. Hey, I bet the repo business is huge where you live. I have the duff I could be a repo guy. I could. But you gotta have a buff friend. You gotta have a really big buff friend for that.
Well, that and Johnny on the side.
Oh, the humanity, not stickers. Mark Short. I'm not, it's because I'm middle-aged, but I'm from that era of I'm like the real life Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right. If you didn't have stickers on your High Boy when you were a little kid, were you even a kid in the 80s?
Thank you. And I think that's what it comes from. Like, I come from the sticker era, and I put stickers on everything, excuse me. And so I still laugh at that. Whenever I'm having a bad day, I'm like, I literally got kicked out of a group because I put stickers on an antique sewing machine that I own. A life where it's not. Thank you. I still have sticker boxes. Stickers have a place put on those machines by the singers. Stickers have been put. Yes, they have. And they sell vintage decals. And those are stickers. They're not the original paint, I put stickers on all kinds of shit. Only reason I haven't put them on my sewing machine yet is because I don't have any more stickers.
That's a good reason. Time to buy more stickers.
I go nutty on Amazon. Like, gosh, I really need to take my credit card off of everything.
Just uninstall the app so you have to be sitting at your computer. But speaking of Amazon, what do you think about those friction heat erasables fabric pens for sewing, if you have an opinion?
I kind of don't. I am old school. I still use chalk.
Fair. Okay, me too.
So all this newfangled fancy stuff is. I don't want to sound like a old fuddy duddy, and I can't
But
believe
you
I'm
are.
saying.
Okay.
As an old fuddy duddy, it's offensive. It's too many
Yeah.
bells and whistles. If someone gave me one, I wouldn't turn it down,
Okay.
but I wouldn't buy one.
All right, then I'll save my $16 and just keep using my grandma's chalk.
But I still make my own shapes. Like I'm old school. Like what you told me about medical paper. Man, I went to my job. I was like, "Where's all the old medical paper? Where's all the old tissue?" I
It
know
works
those
great
things.
for tracing patterns. It's my favorite. And
I was
you've
like,
got
all
it-
this. Oh heck yeah! I got rolls and rolls of it. You know, I love stuff like that because I come from the side of trying to stop the people who are trying to kill this planet. And I know as one person, I can't do that. I
right.
know, but I was told a long time ago by a really jaded climate scientist that like, oh, if you stop, even as one person, you won't help the planet. Well, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to put my ring together like Captain Planet told me to. I'm going to get my ring. I'm going to put my ring on and do my best like Captain Planet told me to. Ironically, my ring is black. But, I try to do my part because I see waste just in my area, Chalk here too. Yeah, I'm a chalk enthusiast. For $16, I could buy a case of chalk that would last me.
Okay. Fair. All right. Well, thank you for saving me money and reminding me to use the stuff I already have because I do have my grandma's chalk that she never finished up and
lately, that's been my kick. I've been using all the fab. Well, besides last week when I broke down and did a compulsive fabric buy, but I'm trying to use all the stuff I have. Captain Planet. Captain Planet was the shiest. I loved Captain Planet. And you know what's so funny? It was like an off show even in my day, and I still watched it. I didn't care. I didn't care. Oh, okay. I thought that was off, but it isn't. Do you know what's
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say thinking about chalk. So we're still in like the old-fashioned chalk squares and not these newfangled like chalk that comes in a pencil thing.
I still buy chalk squares.
Okay.
Triangles, the
Yep.
weird ones that look like shoehorns. Like I probably have a package of a new one somewhere, like literally around here, because
Like
whenever.
this.
Yes.
My chalk.
I recently found this weird chalk that was a giant triangle, and I'm like, ooh, that's fancy, but it's cut from the same stuff.
Right. Yeah, I've seen the fancy costuming people use those. I might just need to come down because I've never been to like a fabric district and I have a money to burn that I don't really.
People don't realize that you have to reduce and reuse, and as that literally is the way I live my life. Like, I think it's because I grew up with a man that had money and he would take me dumpster diving. Like my dad had money and he was the real life Grady Sanford. We would go. Those are some of the greatest memories. My first drum set I pulled out of the trash, and we went and bought like new heads for it and everything. But I found a full drum set in the garbage and terrorized my neighbors for years with that. Chalk triangles are awesome, Ollie. They're like, I love chalk triangles.
All right. Well, when I run out of chalk, I will get a triangle instead of a square so I could be chalk triangle man.
And they're a little bit more fat, at least the ones I bought, because again, even though like I push hard. Just like with my roller.
Did you get yourself a cutting mat yet? That's going to upset me.
I'm going to take the one from under here and just because I used to use this as a floating mat. But then when I started living at my desk, I started making stuff at my desk. But then my desk grew.
Yeah.
You know,
So you have a cutting mat that you're just not using appropriately and abusing a table and your rotary cutting blades.
Oh, that table is that table is all scar tissue now. But it's my
Well,
party
yeah, because
table.
you abused it. You trafficked that table.
I put a cover over it so it'll hide its shame when I have parties.
Yes, because that's the beer pong table for the it's the Kool-Aid pong table.
Well, because I come from like everyone in my family has babies, so that's the kid table.
Yeah.
Like everyone around me has had children, or like our kids table. Like I laughed last time I had a party, the kids table was bigger than the adults table because everybody had a youngin, you know.
Yo.
Oh man, I haven't had a rager in a while.
Oh, that's funny. Liz does whatever a triangle man can.
Oh,
Oh.
you know, I've had we can dance if you want to. I don't even want to sing the song because that might give me a copyright strike, but I have had that song stuck in my head all day. And I thought listening to it would like get it out, you know, like not have it stuck in my head, but no, it's still there.
See, since yesterday, I've got, what is it, like the Daft Punk with the line about isotoners in my head since yesterday. And I'm like, what's that song? Because I need to just listen to it and get it out of my brain.
It works. That works. Like there's a song I always play in my videos. It's like a dance song I saw in this weird movie, and I won't tell you why I play the song all the time, but like I get it stuck in my head all the time. It's just one of those catchy dance songs, and because like I watch a lot of stuff from the UK, I get caught up in there. Like I will be watching Eurovision.
Oh, that movie was so good.
And because it's going to be held in the UK this year, so they're going to bring out like all their stars. So it's guaranteed Boy George will be there and Cyndi Lauper will show up. And
Do you
like,
think they're going to sympathy let the Ukraine win again?
that's the joke. You know, and if you weren't from like, if you're not used to the dry wit of people from the UK, you'd be like, that's so rude. But on the day it was announced, a lot of people were like, congrats to Ukraine for winning Eurovision 2024.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah,
And I was
this
like, here we go.
Right.
They were already. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it's just a way to hide everybody from paying attention to all the other bullshit that's going on right now, it feels like.
Okay. I did not know that, Ollie. Okay. So, like I talk about all the time, I still see the Scorpions. If they perform in my area, I will go. And the other day, I keep on seeing an ad. I think it's for Journey. No, it's not Journey. Who is it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I might go to that show. Because it's at a casino that's drivable within I go to those shows. I saw Belle Biv DeVoe and New Edition at a county fairgrounds by my house.
Oh, was that last year that they toured? I think they might have played at my county fair too.
It was 2 years, 2 or 3. It was like 2 years, a solid 2 years. It was like right before COVID.
Okay.
But yeah, they went up and down the West Coast, and it was me and everybody's mom. Everybody there was over 40. Like, but you know, I was Bobby Brown was my dude. Like my dude. The Ghostbusters song, come on. Like that's the second greatest Ghostbusters song of all time. And like it makes me laugh because he has lung issues and he'll get up there and dance. And he can still sing. I saw Tribe Called Quest. They were older. They were all gray. The worst ever.
Called Retirement.
Oh, sorry. When I saw Dio looked like my grandmother. He was my grandmother's twin because they had both probably had plastic surgery in the 70s. But he had the hair. He was the same height. Dio was probably like 5'2", 5'3" at the most. And I had
one of us shorties.
I'm not. No. It wasn't. It was just shocking. Like, the first time I saw like Ozzy on TV, I thought Ozzy was like the real devil. Like Ozzy was if you've ever seen an Ozzy show, Ozzy comes out like Slayer. Like
Yeah.
Ozzy comes out like the pits of hell are opening itself, you know? And then you meet Ozzy in real life and you're like, don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs.
Or get Parkinson's.
He's like done that to himself though. I love the Scorpions album covers. Same. Dio was very it was just shocking because I look at these people like they're 10 feet tall. And then you see him in person, you're like, holy cow. Or like I met Ghostface Killer. He's huge from the Wu-Tang Clan. Like he has no natural predators. He is a giant man. Dio was wicked smart too. Yes, he was. Just like the guy from Iron Maiden. I saw Iron Maiden. Man, their plane was parked at the airport. You know, that was a good show. Dio, Iron Maiden, and Motorhead. They put on a show. But a lot of those people are not with us anymore. I think I've asked you this before, but like, would you ever go to a major show again? Or like a festival or a concert? I don't know if I ever will.
I don't know. It depends on. I don't know. I feel like I got spoiled back in the 90s with like weird things before they were like popular. I can't even remember the festival I went to. I don't know. I might be over, but didn't like all the people back then either, so I don't know.
I don't miss everybody puking being on something. I don't miss like the end of the festival. Like I stopped going to like 3-day mud-filled festivals because I'd always come home so unfulfilled. Like
Yeah.
I'd get so built up and then I'm like, oh, I've been ripped for 3 days and I'm depressed now.
Right, or like $12 for a water. Like, I don't know. I think they're too overly expensive. Maybe if something was like a little mom and pop, like an upstart thing, maybe, but I don't know. People are weird and I don't like them.
I agree. Like I haven't gone to anything major since I got rid of my season tickets and like, but my son has sensory issues, so I use that as an excuse to stop spending absorbent amount of monies to go see sports players who don't care anything about me. And I agree with you, Kilroy. Like, see, but ever since the mass hootings started, like I'm paranoid. I'm that guy that'll be eating a donut and like find out if Jesus is real or not. I don't want that to...
Fear. And Alibaba, I do have to agree. Ticketmaster's got this weird. They own the first line of selling, and now they own the secondary scalping market too. Because the people who resell them, it has to be their subsidiary. So the Swifties might make it better for everybody.
And what do they call it? Beyonce people? I don't know, but they're trying to because it's unreal. It's unreal. Ticketmaster has ruined everything. It all started with Metallica too. I still can't believe I paid money to see them in person. Yeah, I'm more of an introvert, but a small concert would be fun. And you know, Liz just reminded me, like when I lived in Portland, you'd see random. Portland is a land of parks, and so I saw Shakespeare, I saw mini concerts, all kinds of like professionally done things in the park. Like those were awesome. I guess I'd go to a small theater. Ticketmaster.
Yes, they do. Come on, Russia, you're letting me down, homies.
Chinese too. Where you at? Where are you at? Like they love.
Right,
they
stop
love
sending fentanyl. Just hack Ticketmaster.
Stop sending balloons. Get rid of all these stupid companies. I think that's the one thing that bothers me is the conglomerates have taken over everything. And don't we have laws against this?
Yeah, we're supposed to have monopoly stuff, but they're not being enforced really well. But then everybody's in bed with all of the, regardless if you're a big D, a little big R, whatever, they're all in bed together. So nothing never changes.
It bothers me. It bothers me because, and I'm not going to get too like small town American on you, but when I was a little kid, I would go to the hardware store with my dad and they would hang out. and like drink coffee and smoke cigarettes inside and be like, oh, I built this, or oh, at the job they had this and this, and they had the biggest truck I've ever seen in my life. Like, but they were friends. And like when my dad passed away, all the people who are still alive from that store is way gone, but they came to his funeral. Like, you don't have that anymore, you know?
No, you got these Zoomers who just don't care about their job and are like, yeah, I'm here for a paycheck and I don't want to do shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there were like, I'm still friends with people that worked at the old Holiday Hardware. Like, still friends with them. When I see them, I'm friends with their kids. Like, we invested in each other, and it was a beautiful thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We do, but they're not enforced because the people who are supposed to enforce them are being paid off by the mega super ultra companies. So sad but true.
Yup.
Obviously obsessed with Shakespeare. Living in Portland made me go out and seek theater. Like I love that.
Well, I do have to say, I may live in a town that has a Shakespeare company theater, and I have been out to see a couple of plays recently, or in the past 12 months, as in recently.
I'll go to like a smaller venue, you know? Like I'm okay with that. I do. You know, I used to go to a lot of hockey games, and I think when I was in my 20s, it was okay. And I didn't notice how rowdy it was until I took my, at the time, 7 or 8-year-old child. And then I'm like, ooh, this isn't necessarily like someone screaming, die, mother duckers, you know? Hockey's hardcore. Hockey is not for the faint.
And I also have sensitive ears that I have an issue with stuff that's like overly loud. I'm very sound sensitive because I have supersonic hearing.
The stadium in Seattle would be torture to you then. That's the loudest stadium in America, to the point where like you have to bring earplugs because they're so loud. It literally has mini earthquakes every Sunday when the Seahawks play.
Yeah, no thanks.
I went there to watch the Angels play the Mariners, and I needed earplugs, and no one was there. It was like the stadium was empty, and it was still, the acoustics are crazy. We still have hardware stores like that around here, auto parts stores too, but there's always some old paps drinking coffee and BS. I miss that. I think it's because I come from the era where people still smoked inside. Like,
it was legal.
There's this woman, Frankie. I don't know how she's alive. She used to pat me on the head with a cigarette in her hand. Like,
she sleeps in Tupperware.
She does. Oh, I missed her. I still have, my mom used to have Tupperware parties. I still have some of the old Tupperware. The Avon lady. I miss the Avon.
Or Mary Kay.
I still have my Cutco scissors. No, see, but like those products actually worked. Like they sent people out, but it wasn't like they were selling snake oil. This was real products that actually worked, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it was something substantial. So when they were selling like Ginsu knives, those knives were actually like, they still work to this day. Cutco knives as well. They still hold up, you know? I always go off about older sewing machines to people, and they're like, yes, we know they were built to last. We know who you are, sir. Yes. Man, my computer is slow. I wish they still made Tupperware. The new school containers are so flimsy and crappy. They are.
That's what I've upgraded to the glass bottom Pyrex with the plastic lids, because not that I have a microwave, but I like storing stuff in glass better than plastic because it kind of creeps me out a little bit.
I have those too. Again, watching too much internet. I watched a video about like, do you know what seeps into your food while it's in your refrigerator? And it creeped me out. So I got Howie Mandel and I went through and cleaned out everything in my fridge. I make a lot of lemonade or iced tea, and I do not use plastic containers. I use glass.
Yeah, good choice.
it changes the taste, especially with lemonade. It
Yeah.
doesn't keep the flavor. It's the strangest thing.
I think that was my degree in biochemistry that partly jaded me in being a child of the 80s and 90s.
Well, the veil was lifted. I
Yeah.
had some of those glass containers too. Those are awesome. Sadly, I keep marijuana in a lot of mine, but
Well, that's why you need to go to the Goodwill and get more. Those old glass or the old-fashioned blue glass ones that you can get the replaceable lids that have the flippy lock.
I think I probably have one like within arm's reach.
I described it terribly, but I know you know what I'm talking about.
I like weirdly, my predecessor was obsessed with containers and boxes. Sometimes I think that like my pops either had ADD but we want to label everybody. He was an electrical engineer. The man worked for NASA. He was just weird, you know? But I have every inception of every kind of weird box with a lid you can think of. Like
Oh, it's across the room, but I have a old-fashioned vintage makeup powder tin that's got a old decal on it. It's paper.
I have all kinds of weird stuff. I found all kinds of weird, like I said about my grandmother, like you truly do not know someone until they pass, and you're like, why did you have 100,000 buttons? Why did like?
That's how they found a World War II portable stretcher at my grandma's house.
Oh wow! And just randomly, or like you're like, what?
Well, there was reasons. It did get donated to the local VA, but my grandmother may or may not have been in the Philippines with MacArthur.
That's awesome. See, I love history like that. My ex-wife's grandmother, we would always play cards because she was from that era.
What card game? Gin or rummy?
We play euchre.
Oh, yep, that one too.
Every Saturday, and I miss her. She was a 90-year-old woman who drank Budweisers and smoked cigarettes.
Which kind?
She smoked Marlboros.
Okay.
And she like she was a real life Rosie the Riveter.
Yep.
And like she told me, she's like, nah, dude, I built P-51 Lightnings during World War II in Ohio. She's like, she told me all the specs and all this stuff. I was like, that's so, but I was sitting next to living history. You know what I'm saying? Like she was a real life Rosie the Riveter. Like that's why I love talking to my grandmother, because she had stories from like 1930s America.
Yeah.
You know, I miss that generation. I have every time I walk past it, I'm like, it's unreal. I have a table from my Aunt Teresa from 1920s Los Angeles. And it's probably older than that, you know?
Yeah. Los Angeles is that old?
She was one of the 15 people that lived in LA in the 1920s.
One of the original settlers.
Yeah. She lived on the Pueblo.
She went to the Midway for church and Sunday brunch.
Do you know what's so funny? She was so bougie. On my grandmother's side, they literally walked over the border illegally. On my grandfather's side, they had maids and servants. And the story always goes that his mother could not handle living in Los Angeles because she didn't have servants.
Oh, because she didn't know how to be self-sufficient. It was a thing.
My grandmother that I lived with, she came from nothing. Like she saved everything. My grandfather, he came from like real money. My grandmother was like that, harder the concrete and smoked cigars. They were always cigarettes, inhaled them and everything. Hell yeah, I love
It's
Lucy.
a good thing she was alive to give birth to your parents so that you could be here.
I wonder about that. Like when I meet the older generation and I'm like, you are still smoking and drinking at 80. How did you make it here? Like they're made of different stuff. I had to quit smoking because I wouldn't be here now if I still smoked cigarettes.
There's something about the environment though too, because wasn't it, I don't know if it's still true, but it used to be in Japan that their tobacco industry was subsidized by the government. So that's used to be why everybody smoked, and their rates of lung cancer were super low. They did, however, have a super high rate of stomach cancer from all the fermented foods. So
Korea was like that as well. I know a lot of people because I live in Los Angeles. I know a lot of people who live by myths, and I never knew. And as far as races go, in Los Angeles, people from Korea get lung cancer more than anyone else because of the consumption of cigarettes. And so in the Korean community, it's a big deal to not smoke cigarettes, you know, as it should be in any community, as someone who quit smoking a while ago. But it's so strange to me how people think that they're not susceptible to certain things. Like, I've said this a million times, as a person of color, it took me a long time to wear sunscreen.
right, that you guys got shafted on sunscreen that didn't make you like look funny and pasty white in weird pictures because the titanium dioxide does not do you any favors.
My grandma and grandpa were hardcore too and lived well into their 80s. Those people were made of different stuff. My
They also ate. Oh, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I was gonna say, but I think back in the day, up until the 50s, when the Better Living Through Chemistry, people didn't eat food out of cans or plastic packages like you ate real food, and you had to cook shit.
I don't think my grandmother ever ate fast food. And also, like, my grandmother is a bad example. She walked 2 miles every day up until she couldn't. And my grandfather was obsessed with athletics. They didn't they drank alcohol, but they didn't smoke. And smoking leads to heart disease. It leads to losing your teeth. It leads to all kinds of things, you know. And it's a common thing with Americans because most people smoked, especially when you were younger. But when you don't, you live longer. Here, I'll make it bigger. And so my grandmother,
I might regret this.
I always jokingly say my grandmother died with her original teeth at 99.
All right, so this is my ruffler foot. I've talked about this before. Have this dream of this like ruffled stuff, but this synthetic plastic tool, this baby Brunhilde like eats her alive and just rips holes. So I will see if this works. I might be crying in a few minutes, but we'll see how that goes.
I use that stuff for patch interfacing. Because I have a large amount of it, because I inherited it from somebody who I'll never know what project they were going to do with it. But I used to put that material behind patches just to give it a little bit more stiffness.
Yeah, I bought mine for $5 for 40 yards at the Goodwill a while ago.
You score fabric at your Goodwill.
I do, but I don't go that often, and sometimes I get lucky and sometimes I just get disappointed.
Because I have scored, but it's never at a Goodwill. It's always at off ones where I feel like somebody didn't know what to do with their grandmother's stuff when they passed.
Yeah, I should probably drive north and go to the antique mall and get score better, but I'm too lazy to drive 15 miles.
I'm such a driver. I'm a driver. Like I'm itching for an adventure. And now that all the drama's over, I feel multiple road trips. Multiple. Because I want my son. I was gonna take him overseas and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And then with all the travel restrictions, I'm not gonna deal with it. And then cruises are unreal. They're so cheap right now. But I don't want to get caught on a I don't want to be one of those people that get caught on the ship if someone gets COVID and I'm stuck on a boat for 2 weeks.
Or norovirus.
Oh, and I'm susceptible because I want to do all these things and I have a lower immune system. But I want I'll never forget my my ex-wife's someone I knew looked at me and was like, the Grand Canyon doesn't exist. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I've never seen it. I said, okay. So I piled our families in the car and we went to the Grand Canyon. I want my son to experience that though.
Yeah.
Or like take him to the sequoias, or like,
Oh, come to the trees of mystery.
ooh, or like, he's not old enough yet, but like I've been to Vancouver Island, where some young woman in dreads may or may not have been like, here are these mushrooms. Here, take these.
Right.
You'll have a much better
Yep.
like I got peyote shut up my nose. I would not recommend it necessarily unless you're ready for it, because it will change your life. I miss road trips as well. I think I'm just itching for a good road trip. And since my son is always with me, I'm just going to take him with me. I like road trips the best. And given how I refuse to fly, it's pretty much and I was thinking about like, my cousin, one of my many cousins is giving away a mini camper for free.
Ooh.
And I'm like this close to just being like, you know what? I actually do have a place to put it.
And a
Oh, go ahead,
vehicle that can tow it.
please. I have my trucks, but like, I could, but see the thing, like with my white truck, I could sleep in that.
Yeah. But your son, you need a space for two.
Exactly. I am like, I love camping. I absolutely love camping, but like COVID and everything kind of killed it. And now like we have laws in my town where you're not allowed to park a camper in front of your house
Lame.
because my town is anti-homeless people. And so they're
So where do the rich people store their campers?
on their properties because they oh my gosh, my ex-wife recently showed me in the really rich part of the area, they are now advertising that they have garages where you can park your RV in there, your full 55-foot RV. That's for the uber rich. Like I could those garages are so large you could play football in them,
Right, it's like an airplane hangar.
Yeah. I definitely need a Hobbit adventure, Liz. It's been now that I am no longer a compulsive gambler. COVID cured me of that real quick.
Well, I know of a central location for everybody.
Check really closely for water damage. That's one of the killers of travel trailers. That's solid advice. I definitely will. And in the back of my mind, my conscience was like, when I say my conscience, I'm speaking of my son. He's like, why is it free? Because I always say that to him. Because he'll be like, oh, we still have classifieds around here. And he'll be like, oh, they're giving away a free pool table. And I'm like, why is it free? Does it weigh 500 pounds? Does it, like, did someone pass on it? Like, why?
The felt is torn and it needs a $5,000 worth of maintenance.
Exactly. And I hate to be the Judge Judy type, but nothing in this world is free. Nothing in this world is. That is very true. He is kind of janky too.
He only learned from the best.
I gave my dad's old travel trailer to my cousin's son, but that's because it had too many memories of my father.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, I can't. And it was at the job, so I saw it every day, and I'm like, no, like, but like, I don't know. Plus, like I was about to go off, there's a war on the homeless here in Los Angeles, which they should be attempting to help people. And there's an organization that I work for that actually does that. But like, you can't park an RV in my city. You can't, like, if you loiter, it's really anti-homeless.
But you can jaywalk. Because
all day long. In front of the police, you can jaywalk.
Well, because it's legal now, because I thought it was racist to have it anti-jaywalking. And now they're all getting hit. Like, you can't have it both ways.
Which I was about to say, man, like, in LA, no one honors the crosswalk anyway, so it's not. I think like it's one of those things like, okay, they gave licenses to people who were illegal aliens here because no one had a license, no one, and so every time they pulled someone over, they had to confiscate the car, and they literally changed the law because of that. And so now, if you live in LA, anybody can get a driver's license, unless you're someone like me and they give you heck. I originally got my license in Arizona when I was in college, and the state of California was almost mad at me for that because in the state of Arizona, their licenses are good for 50 years.
Oh man.
And all you have to do is come and renew your picture. And they actually stopped that, but because I got my ID before they passed that law, like I just have to go and get my picture taken every 5 years, and they renew my license and hand it to me right then and there. I use the crosswalk, but that's because of all the asshole pickup drivers that have to try to run. Kilroy, it's very similar around here. People over and undercompensate with giant trucks. I have this thing, okay? I live in the desert, and people, they baja their truck out, which basically means they get a giant piece of metal and they put it underneath where the motor is, so you can go womping in mud and you go womping in sand. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to have their trucks look like garbage, and they never take it out to the desert. It's all a look. It's a pretense. I have a farm truck that I drive around this town, and it's because it's a tool. I literally use it as a tool.
Yeah, I'm over flex culture.
I don't get flex culture. I don't understand it. Like, why would you like? I ride motorcycles and I never show them on stream because it's part of my culture that you don't do that. That you don't show off. Like it's a part of who you are. It's not like, it's hard to explain. It's an old school thing of like, why would you show that off? Good old pavement. That, and I reserve the right to be an outlaw on my motorcycle. When you say flex culture, do you mean like in the African American culture, we always say like, don't do it for the gram. We'll tell people like, bro, don't do it. Are you doing that for the gram? What is wrong with you?
Right. Like even if I did, like, who needs a Louis Vuitton bag for an investment, or a Chanel bag, or the fancy shoes, like, or the folks who rent the fancy cars, the Lambos, and they don't own them just to take the pictures. Like, what's the point? Why be smart with your money. Don't be stupid.
Later, Liz. Stay safe.
Good night, Liz. Enjoy your new job. Training.
Money. Like I said earlier, ever since I got online, someone yelled at me because I said I was a capitalist. I'm a capitalist. Go make money. It's
Right, there's
what we
nothing
do.
wrong with that.
I'm not a heartless capitalist. I actually learned from people who were good to their employees, And my father was always a second chance employer, so I learned from him to like listen to people and hear their story before I judge them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to necessarily give it depends on.
Right, what's the infraction?
Yeah. I don't want someone to apply to my job if they were like an axe murderer.
Fair.
Or if you're on parole for axe murdering, sorry, bro. Like, I'm gonna judge you.
Right. If you were found guilty for axe murdering, then we might have a different story. Not guilty. We might have a different story if you didn't actually do it and were accused of something. But if you actually did it, yeah, I don't know.
I've known people though that were given second chances and have thrived.
Right.
And have utterly and are functioning tax-paying citizens,
Right, because scared straight works sometimes.
Sometimes it does. Do you know, in my cleaning, I found my old Stone Cold Steve Austin headband.
What?
And this is literally from 1990. Cough, cough, cough.
It's not.
Bye, Liz. I'm basically a socialist, but at the same time, I'm like, you gotta eat, you fuck. Gotta go get that paper. Screw being yeah, goody two. I agree. I'm the same way. You know, I adapt to my situation. You know, and I live in a society where we're ran by money. And so because of that, I get up at odd hours of the evening and go to work. I will say though, like, nepotism has ruined many businesses.
Yeah. In the
But I was
IRS.
oh the that was one thing that I educate myself on every year because let's remember, like, the IRS took down Al Capone. The IRS came after Martha Stewart, like.
Yeah. Oh, Martha and Snoop Dogg. What a match made in heaven.
I weirdly love seeing them together.
It's so cute. I love it. She did more jail time than he ever did.
When she's in a room with him and all of, like, because Snoop Dogg hangs out with real Crips, like real people who are like real Crip gang members. It makes me laugh because she did more jail time than all of them combined. Because these guys got famous young. They got famous at like 19, you know, like, and Snoop took all of his friends with him. So, like, it just makes me laugh. Do you know what's funny? I will say this though, as on behalf of really skinny people, Snoop Dogg looks terrible. Alexa, how old is Snoop Dogg?
Snoop Dogg is 51 years old.
I'm sorry, sir. I am less than 10 years younger than you are. Snoop Dogg, I think he smokes. He had to have smoked cigarettes or something. And someday I want to start my own biz, and I learned a lot from these old school Italian small businessmen I grew up around. They'd straight up buy cars and pay off medical bills for their employees. My dad was like that. Like, if you worked for him, he would do anything for you as long as you came to work every day.
I don't know how people can afford to do that anymore. The medical bills are freaking expensive. I don't know. I love the ideal, but shit's differently screwed up these days.
Because of Obama, if you have a business, you have to pay for decent health insurance. And because I live in the state of California, like, you have to be able to pay for like liposuction, tummy tuck, any kind of like, there are certain surgeries that you have to be able to pay for if under certain insurances. So it's weird. The list is weird. I'm gonna get it one day and you'll laugh of the things that my insurance pays for. Thank you, Kilroy. Thank you. My point exactly.
Oh God. I didn't know. Martha's like 80.
And she looks better than he does.
Well, she's got a better plastic surgeon.
True. She's not like Madonna.
Oh no. Madonna's plastic surgeon needs to be just lose their license.
Madonna has LA Catwoman cat face. That is like the silicone sister face. She is not alone. And isn't I saw that Madonna was dating someone that's like 15 years younger than I am. Isn't he like 23 or was I just, or like 30 or something? Or
I don't know. That I don't have an issue with, but just don't fuck with your face.
no, I don't have an issue with that either, because cougars are the only human beings who walk up to me and ask me out. So I have no problem with older women whatsoever at all, in any way, shape, or form. And you know what? When I was 25, I dated a woman who was 42. Yeah, that's not my point. It's just I feel bad. I feel I try not to shame people because where I live, everyone has plastic surgery. I'm not kidding you. Like when I go to the grocery store, it is not rare to see someone completely wrapped like a mummy because they got a new head.
Well, and I've heard that since with everybody wearing masks, that there's been an increased rate of plastic surgery because you can hide your half your face.
I think we all look like we're in Mortal Kombat.
Yes. Oh, yes. There's nothing wrong with that.
Excuse me, I'm imbibing in what's left of my Girl Scout cookies.
The ones you saved.
But of course, I always get these ones because I know no one wants them.
Oh, the tag-alongs.
I always get no one wants them. I love them. I love these stupid things. I might get another box because she saw this and instantly put her nose up like, oh, you still eat those things? My father would purposely eat like saltwater taffy and black licorice, and now I know why.
There's
'Cause he
nothing
didn't-
wrong with saltwater taffy. I miss going to the county, the dairy farm. Oh, what was it? The dairy festival.
So, Kilroy, you would trip out. I could put you in a car, take you to Hollywood, or not even Hollywood. We could just go over the hill. And I live in the land of plastic surgery. The land. Men get fake calves. Everyone like when the fake butt was popular, everyone has fake
BBL?
butt. Oh, everyone has I can tell a BBL because it doesn't look natural. You know?
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian literally sues people when they take pictures of her at the beach. Like it's known if a Kardashians are at the beach, you better just go in the opposite direction because their security guards are going to try to beat you up. Like it's just an LA thing. Like, and if you take a picture, they're going to try to jump you and like physically have you erase your phone. And I like licorice in general. I won't snob my nose at black licorice, but because I grew up with old-timey parents, I love like saltwater taffy, licorice. I love all the old school candy.
Oh, the old-fashioned violet flavored candy. I miss that.
Or like my dad used to take me to this place when I was a little kid. They'd make pistachio ice cream. I still love pistachio ice cream to this very day. To this very day.
I could do for some halava right about now.
Oh, I can't wait for the spring because that's like county fair season, and I'm addicted to kettle corn, funnel cakes, corn dogs. A fresh corn dog is better than sex. I said it. I'm a food aficionado when it comes to.
I'm a junk food aficionado.
I only imbibe once a year, and it's a good excuse to go over the hill with the family and like, I'm going to eat a funnel cake. I need a designated driver, not for drinking, but for the food coma in the car on the way home. Because I'm like asleep in the car because I've been eating all day.
So have you taught your kid how to drive the tractors yet?
Isaiah knows how to drive both, but the newer one is cheating because it's automatic.
I don't know how to drive a standard, so I don't call that cheating.
And I like having him on the tractor, but I don't want someone to call the cops on me because we have hardcore child labor laws.
Fair.
And if someone was to be like, that man has his son on the tractor, like I don't know what would happen. One ice cream I like, you never ever find anymore, is White House cherry. I love those too. You know what? That's so true. Maraschino cherries are awesome. Maraschino. I'm sorry. It's my Southern California twang. I do not pronounce words properly. I love maraschino cherries. Have you ever been
brandy to drink them in?
You would have loved my the parties my family threw.
Right, those cherries and the brandy sat for like years, and they just got better over time.
Do you know? Have you ever gone cherry picking, like real cherry picking?
I have picked cherries off trees.
I used to love cherry picking until one time I ate like, I don't know, 2 pounds within a day or two.
You had the shits for days.
And now the thought of a cherry makes me physically ill. And I love cherry, like cherry flavored anything. But and I live. Have you ever seen the famous California poppy fields?
I think with like the little the proper California poppies. I've
Yeah.
seen pictures. I have them.
We have fields of poppies out here, and like there's a famous field where everyone takes a picture. And it's like been in commercials.
Yup.
There's a cherry farm that's near there, and I made cherry pie. I made cherry and it was cheap back then. I think I took home like 15 pounds. It was way cheap. I got dark cherry ice cream. Oh, you're making me hungry.
It's too cold for ice cream. If it's not above 100, it's not ice cream season. But
I know, and I think I'm like, it's so funny. I'm daydreaming for spring because I love planting food. I saw I'm gonna have giant pineapples. I have learned a lesson. Nature has humbled me. My pineapples are healthy. And they're so happy it's been raining. I'm gonna have giant pineapples.
I need to grow some. Did you start them from a store-bought one and cut the top off and grow your pineapple, or like how did you make this happen?
Yes, because I heard I just saw it on YouTube and I was like, that's not real.
Everything I learned from The Simpsons and YouTube.
You know what's so sad? Up until about college, I did learn everything I learned did come from The Simpsons. But I cut the top off and it worked. And so wash, rinse, repeat, and I have 3 healthy pineapples. There was a raccoon that pulled one out. So I have 3 healthy pineapples growing, and I have a field of potatoes growing underneath a rose bush, weirdly.
I keep my potatoes in a pot above ground just so I can find them. Let's see here. Allie's talking to me. If ice cream season must be above 100, it would never be here. Fear. I know you live in the cold tundra of the Quebecistan.
You have a legitimate gripe. Like, I bet you're laughing at people in the South right now who are freezing. Like, we're freaking out. I'm just glad I get to wear all my coats.
To be fair, I grew up in New York State. Friends of mine a few months ago literally had 72 inches of snow at their house. So I know what that life is like. I just chose to leave it. But I get it. I know what real snow removal and chemical de-icers do for the one's ability to get around. So I get it. My car's also glad that I don't live there anymore, though.
See, I don't even have the concept of that because, like, on the West Coast, we never, well, in California, we never have that problem. Unless you live near the ocean, and then, your cars slowly get eaten by the salt.
Right, but it's the chemical de-icing salt is not the same as sodium chloride from ocean salt, I think.
You know what? Honestly, because I'm dramatic and I'm all about the presentation, I'll eat ice cream when it's snowing outside. I'm the same way. I make ice cream soup. It's just a malt. I mix it with milk. I sit down with my ice cream. Like, I love ice cream. And I'm not even supposed to eat it, and I still do. I will barbecue.
Unless you have real malt powder, then you're not doing it right.
What's that? Sorry.
The old-fashioned malt powder.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have malting powder. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, just checking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't mess around. Like, when I get into something, like, I have not the one they sell in the store. I have an icy machine in my kitchen. Because my ex-wife bought my son an icy machine for Christmas, and it was kind of, like, plasticky. So I went out and found an old icy machine and have all the mixtures and everything. But I just can't wait till it gets hot again.
Yeah.
I laugh so much at Californians who think that their stupid pumice stone or whatever it is, ice won't melt like actual salt.
No, it doesn't melt shit. It just gives you pretend traction, but they have these little like front wheel drive tiny piece of shit cars that can't handle it. They don't know
Yes.
you gotta like put the kitty litter in the trunk 50 pounds to give your car some weight, or just get a Subaru.
It's so funny. You stole the sentence. Oh my gosh. I was just about to say Subaru didn't get popular here until about 10 years ago. And so I know quite a few people that have Subarus, but they also got busted for advertising towards lesbian, like in the LGBTQIA plus, because that's who was buying their cars. And Subaru was like, look, those who are buying our cars, we're gonna advertise towards these people. So in like Hollywood and West Hollywood, you see a gang of Subarus. It's a status symbol. No, it's a status symbol in LA.
Yeah.
I know quite a few people now. Oh yeah, we're funny. I've made burgers on my charcoal grill at 5 a.m. I do that. And you know what's so funny? Like now that like me and my neighbor officially hate each other, I will be barbecuing on the front lawn with my New Balance dad shoes on. And just
in jumpers and in your overalls and your striped blue hoodie.
Something super gay, just to keep it 100%, because they judge me anyways. Just something like my man onesie or something.
Oh yes.
Just to keep it 100%. I jokingly sent a text to my mom. I was like, the only reason I'm not barbecuing right now is because it's raining outside.
That's no excuse. My friends used to barbecue in the snow with shorts and a t-shirt and work boots on.
It's trying to snow right now, but it's not sticking.
Look, I'm gonna take myself off real quick. Let's see here. I'm gonna pop off, do some business, and take a picture of the snow. I'll be right back.
Okay. Here it's like I'm like looking at my security camera, and it looks like it's snowing, but it's just the temperature enough where it's not sticking. Yeah, we're a mess. We're a mess here in Cal. Early morning grilling has always a different vibe than grilling in the evening. I agree. Back in the day, when I really used to party, like, I used to party with a group of people, and we all had to stop hanging out with each other because we partied way too hard. But I would get the munchies at 2 or 3 in the morning, or sometimes at like 4 or 5 when everyone's going home. I would barbecue. And I had a neighbor who was like, look, bro, I don't know what you do for a living, but every time I get up to go to work, you are literally barbecuing a steak. I hate you because you're barbecuing at 3:30 in the morning. I love barbecuing. I have 2 barbecues at my house. It's a sport to me. And I have a way I barbecue pork ribs, and I barbecue beef ribs, even though it's a fire hazard. I cut the fat off and let them sit there. Like I get hardcore. Salt doesn't actually melt ice. It just stops the water refreezing. Very, very, very true. Mark Short, do you guys have like weather like that in Australia? Excuse me, because like when I lived in Arizona, we had monsoon season, and I didn't understand what it was. Excuse me, until an actual monsoon whipped through, and I'm like, holy cow, this is real. Because I'm a desert dweller, but every once in a while, like this storm right now, like we just get drenched. And because we clear cut everything, we have flash floods everywhere. We get flash floods because we have to clear cut because of the fires. So it's a mess here in California right now. Man, this whole talk, I might grill tonight. You might see a random picture on my I might put it up on my YouTube of me grilling in front of my house. I used to work nights and drinking cocktails on the porch at 8 in the morning after work, and seeing people's reaction was priceless. Damn, I miss that. That's the one thing I miss about boozing. I miss that so much.
Right.
I've worked nothing but third shift as well.
We have a snow update.
That's snow.
It
That
is snow.
actual.
It is. There's like 2 inches outside, which is like a snowstorm where I live now, which back in the day we would laugh at myself. And we would just say that's a Tuesday.
I'm like that pouty kid that's like, it's not snowing here. It's not snowing here.
No, that is proper snow, and it's still snowing. So my morning might be or online visits and not in-person visits.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, did it snow like this last year?
I think I cannot remember in all the time that I've lived here, it's never snowed this many days this late in the season. Like usually when it gets to February 2nd, it is spring. By this time, the fruit trees for Harry and David are blooming. This is the longest it's been cold this late in the season that I can remember in all the time I've lived here.
Crazy. No, I've never ever seen snow. We do get somewhat of monsoon season though. It's been hot as hell all day and there's a big storm. I forget that you're on the other side of the planet and it's summer.
Right.
Oh my God. Laugh out loud, 2 inches, call off schools and don't go out.
No, they will. No, seriously. No, I bet you if it freezes overnight, but because they don't use the de-icers and it's supposed to be below freezing, it will literally be trying to drive on an ice rink. So there will be at least a 2-hour delay or school will be canceled around here. I know. I laugh at it too. I think it's really funny, but people, I used to know how to drive in the snow, but people are so dumb that I stay off the road because they're morons.
Yes. Do you know what's funny, Kilroy? 1 inch, they would call in the National Guard and there'd be jets flying over our head here. So
yeah. I know you can laugh, do it. I would laugh at I laugh too, and I've known better.
I'm wearing layer upon layer and my Brokeback Mountain jacket, and it's like in the 40s here. So no judgment whatsoever.
Yeah, right. I have actual snow at my house.
You know, it's so funny. All summer long, I was like, man, I can't wait till winter because it was Hades. It was real life Hades here. And look at me now.
Like, I want it to be 95 and sunny again.
I've said there is no in between. We have had extreme weather. Oh, where I live, they raise junk cars on frozen lakes and bald tires. No joke. They have winter tire race. That's awesome.
Oh, the demolition derby of the snowfield.
I had a good friend who went to Minnesota, and they he's obsessed with hockey, and he played hockey on a lake, and he posted the picture, and everybody in the East Coast was like, "You think you're special?" He's like, "We've been doing this our whole life." He's like, "You're a 40-year-old man. This is the first time you've ever been on a lake," and they're like, "Don't shame us, okay? We're from California, all right? We don't do these things.
We don't know any better."
But it'd been the first time he'd ever played hockey on a lake before. And he's a semi-pro hockey player. I used to love doing donuts in parking lots and abandoned malls in the winter. I do them in my truck. I go womping all the time. All the time. And I love the look on my son's face. Do you know, my dad used to do that to me. Like, I love womping. I let him drive in the field too over at my job. Like, I love doing donuts. It's fun. And if the truck rolls over, I can always get the tractor and tip it back over. But I'm the reckless one. Isaiah's cautious. He's the cautious one. He's literally my conscience, because he's like, should we not be doing this even though we're in charge? Like, we had to do a controlled burn, and he like grabbed me. He's like, "Can we legally do this?" I said, "Yes. The fire department will be here in 5 minutes." Like,
Right.
they're gonna help
want us to do this for the summertime. Like, we're doing them a favor. It just looks scary right now. It's okay,
exactly. Like, they're gonna help us burn. They're gonna help us set those fires over there. Like, I'd like to take a California ice fishing somehow to see what they think of it. If I had something to keep me warm and a giant doobie, I'll go right now.
You go ice fishing in a tent with a little heater that's either kerosene or electric. It's bougie these days, unless Kilroy's got the like old school. You're on the lake with your little tripod chair and nothing.
Oh, crazy Alibaba football. I actually love the old school Canadians. I have a Rosenthal jersey. I watch old black and white hockey games. I'm obsessed with hockey. Like, it is an absolute love of mine. Drive out onto the I would love to go ice fishing. But like, I'm the kind of person though that like I'd go ice fishing, I'd hang out, I'd be great, then the next day I'd catch pneumonia. And you'd be like, where's William? He's in the hospital. He is literally in the hospital.
You just need more wool and silk underlayers. You just need to dress appropriately.
You know, I learned that when I lived in Oregon because that was the first time I went fishing in like actual lake water. I didn't get sick one time, and that water was like coming off of Mount Hood. That water is glacial.
Yeah.
And I didn't get sick one time, you know? There's something in the lumberjack flannel.
Yep.
You know, part of the romantic in me misses living out in the middle of nowhere at Sandy, Oregon. The adult in me was like, do they get Wi-Fi out there?
Yes. Or you can get, what Elon Musk's Starlink.
That's true. You know, I was recently, when all this drama happened, I was going to buy a plot of land and move out to the country by my job. And I was looking into all kinds of things, and that Starlink is legit.
It is. Good Killer. You don't like ice fishing like the bougie people. You like it old school, the guy that sits on a folding chair in front of the ice. That's what I remember on the lakes where I grew up.
I still go, I'm a lame who gets a fishing license. I do, but Isaiah and I go fishing at the lake by my house. Oh, now I have the Andy Griffith Show song stuck in my head. Oh, that is just torture. Because at my job, we work with a lot of older people, and so they like watching those shows.
Yeah.
So I'll walk past the recreational hall, and they'll be watching the Andy Griffith Show, or like, you know, or oh man, Gunsmoke.
Yep. Yeah, they used to stock non-immigrant lake, but there hasn't been enough water in the past 2 years, so there's no fish to go fishing.
They have closed at the lake by my house. They've closed the upper lake, and it's you only have access to the lower lake now. It's really sad. And if you go up in the hills, they can't lie because you can see how much the lake's gone down. You know.
All right, so Killer, you're not going to pay for Twitter Blue. Fair. Neither am I.
Oh, hold on. I'm never going to pay. Okay, so I paid for Twitter Blue before Elon was around. I did. I stopped paying for Twitter Blue when he started. I'm one of those people that will probably end up bankrupting Twitter because they were quietly taking $3 to $5 out of my card every month.
You need to get that app that knows where you're spending subscriptions that you don't need anymore.
Do you know what's really saved my tail? And I won't even lie. And because he's on a date and not here, I can say it out loud. Isaiah got a lifetime ban on the PlayStation Network for just saying awful things. And he said something in an open forum that got him a lifetime ban. And that has saved me thousands of dollars.
Well, your kids shouldn't have access to buying stuff on the games anyway. So that was a life lesson on YouTube, maybe.
It was a rookie, it was a rookie mistake. It was different. Like, he stole my dad's credit card and my dad laughed. My dad laughed. He literally was like, oh, that kid's smart enough to steal my card. He spent over $1,000 on Fortnite before my dad was like, okay, it's not funny anymore. No, because I'd come to him and be like, what is wrong with you? There would have been missing posters out for me when I was a kid, you know?
Right.
And he's like, oh, it's funny. And then he's like, how do you spend $300 on a video game? Like, how do you feel? Like, Isaiah had every skin. He had every it was just. I still watch that show.
That's impressive that somebody gets 160 megabytes per second. I wish I could get internet speeds that fast, Mark.
We have fights around here. Spectrum they block a signal. They don't have people that come and work on their equipment. It's been an ordeal to get decent Wi-Fi around here, to the point where some of my neighbors thanked me because I went full Karen and they had to get several trucks out here, and it improved all of our Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I was being charged. See, I do check. I don't needlessly spend money, but like I do check my card. I was paying extra for top tier Wi-Fi and I was barely getting a signal.
Mm.
And they were like, oh, that. So every time I'd call, they'd give me the runaround, and it was a technical problem by my house that they had to physically come out and take care of.
Right. So it wasn't a you, it was a them thing, and you were just paying for shit.
Oh, it took them forever. That's why whenever my signal goes low, I'm like, what are you talking about? I went full Karen for this. Like,
can I ask a technical question?
Of course.
How do I want to condition the wood on Brunhilde so that she stays nice and supple?
Okay, so
on this base.
There's you could get something like, do you remember Old English?
Yes. Or linseed oil, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Something that's gonna treat it. And there's many options. Like you get something like that, or you can epoxy it and keep it like that forever. But it'll be a little glazy and shiny. I'm obsessed with resin and epoxy.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about completely covering my 6'2" 5-fin surfboard in white epoxy and clear epoxy and forming a surfboard around that, but it might cost too much money.
Yeah. I just, because it's so dry here at my house, I'm like, I don't want the base to crack and Brunhilde not have a base to sit in.
Treat it like a pair of leather shoes. Just start treating it. Just start putting like Old English, or
how
you gotta
often?
You got to get the old hazardous stuff though. Like a lot of this new stuff.
Okay.
Because I found a really ratty old bottle at my mom's house, and it has different ingredients than the stuff I recently bought at my grocery store under the same brand.
All right. Like once a month, once a month?
Yes. Once a month.
Okay.
Because if you over oil it, it'll be a greasy box.
Oh, right. And I don't want my silk to get all greasy and nasty.
And that's another thing. Like when I've learned to stop over oiling machines. Oh, Alibaba has a good idea as well. Machine oil works.
Okay. That I just bought a bottle of you just use sewing machine oil. All right. Well, I'll just take an old rag and rub her up with machine oil. I can do that.
Same, Kilroy. I did grow up with VHS tapes and crappy signals. That is true. You are right. I'm a Karen sometimes. I only get 16 megabits with my internet. Modern runs on. That's wow. You know what's so funny? When I was gonna move to Australia 3 years ago, the biggest concern for the person I was going to move to, she was like, I don't think you're going to like our internet. Because she was seeing how I live in America. And she's like, dude, we would literally have to like pay all this money to get someone to come out and put a second panel in for the amount of power that you want to pull.
And that's without the sewing machines.
Exactly. That's just with all my toys, you know. I use sewing machine oil. That's not on my hand crank cases. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Like it works so well on linseed oil. Might be okay. Absolutely.
Do you boil? So you buy the? Is there something called boiled linseed oil?
Sometimes we get lost in translation with Mark because he lives in Australia.
I know they speak a different English.
To be fair, though, so do the French, the English, and the Spanish. Like we all speak English with the accent, all of us.
Yeah.
That's like Lori. Like if you were to say Lori, like what does Lori mean? If you didn't, you know.
Oh, right. I know it's a truck, but I've watched enough World War II movies.
Yeah. The oil will soak. Yeah, and there's a shellac. Exactly. I've actually got that advice from on old sewing machines to bring back the color.
I don't think
Polymer
there's any
coating.
shellac left. It's just like wood that doesn't feel treated with anything, and it just feels like dry.
Polymer coating can cause mold issues. Good to know. Moisture condenses on the iron and gets into the wood. Good to know. I make a mix of paraffin wax and an engine oil to use a wood finish. Oh, I love remedies like that.
I
And it
could
works
do
pretty good
that.
without it being shiny.
Oh, I'm glad I asked this question. There's so many smart people that know things that I am just like, I've got this beautiful thing and I don't know how to make sure she stays beautiful besides oiling when she gets squeaky.
Boiled linseed oil is oil in North America.
Okay, just check it. All right, thank you for
Yeah, you buy
educating
it.
me.
You buy it as boiled linseed oil and an old-fashioned gun stock. Oh, okay.
Because I've got like gun oil. I mean, I have weapon oil also. So I've got
Same.
oils.
You know, I probably have like gun oil like literally right here because I have a bunch of cleaning kits. A
Right,
ton.
I know we keep joking at my house that ours need to be serviced because they haven't been done in a while, and we keep saying like we got to service them and then go to the range.
I always jokingly say I got to clean mine before the apocalypse. I
Right,
always
yeah,
joke-
tomorrow, or just read. Oh my God, reading Octavia Butler at the beginning in 2020 after the panorama started was just like creepy and too close to home.
Do you know what's really funny? There was a lot of stuff I stopped watching for that very reason. Like I was like, oh, this is too real. Like, oh, or like the movie Outbreak, all of a sudden we were living it.
Oh yeah, I read that book when I was like 12.
And you know it's so funny, like there's certain language in that movie we were using, like lockdown, like you
Yeah.
know, there is like an actual script to all of this, and they had it years ago.
Yeah.
That's good to know that gun oil worked though, because I'm like I have a ton of it. I have a ton of gun oil.
I know.
But I also have like black powdered weapons. I have like a ton of stuff that I clean. This is super old school, and you might want to make sure that the neighbors don't find out. But if you ever need to finish a fence or anything, you want something that lasts forever, use motor oil. Totally. My neighbor would rat on me though, because it's not environmentally friendly, and he's like a uber hippie.
That is good to know. My neighbors don't care, and
be careful with linseed oil. It comes in boiled and normal. The boiled will dry, and the normal takes forever to dry.
Okay.
I got that with like Thompson's oil. I found
Right.
that out
Well, I
the
live
hard
in
way.
a place where there's like 17% humidity normally, so it's dry as fuck around here.
That is true. I live in a place where I still dry my clothes outside, like during the winter, like
Yeah.
because we have such fair weather here, you know.
Okay. Oh, Alibaba's next comment is funny. Mark and the rag can spontaneously combust.
That's like funny and not funny.
I know, because that shit does happen. Like I learned about you don't want to keep rags with motor oil like in a closed container because it can happen. And that I thought it was an old myth, but I know that's real. Have you seen it happen 3 times, Allie? Oh my God.
I have a ton of hazardous materials just on the other side. Like this room is filled with rollaway toolboxes and all like I call that the man corner where all my hazardous stuff is. And
Where all
like
your manly stuff is opposed to your sewing stuff. This is the man corner and this is the sewing corner.
well, I have certain things in lockers because I don't want them to get too hot.
Right.
Like I don't want certain oils. Like I have a specific oil for my power pressure washer. I have like mixed 2-in-1 oil for chainsaws, like all kinds of stuff, and that stuff will spontaneously combust because where I live it gets so hot out here in the country. Nobody cares, but I've given advice to city and suburb people and got yelled at. No, I totally understand. I have ratty neighbors. Yeah, the rag can spontaneously combust. Don't leave the rag balled up. I do. You know what's so funny? Because I come from such well-kept people, I do half-ass things like that sometimes and learn the lesson the hard way because I came from like electrical engineers and professionals, and I just learned from them. I still call myself tool time. I still call myself tool time. I I think there was another comment, but you know what it is? Like I have the stream on a screen right here, and it's going by faster online than it is on my computer because for some reason my computer does not like the comments.
I don't know. I'm just sitting here fondling Brunhilde. I'm just like, I'm just petting her right now. I'm like, I don't know what to sew. I don't have anything.
No, it's all right. This
It's
is
too dark
like
to thread a needle to like work on my hand stitching stuff. So I'm just like
This is
fondling.
the Elvis. This is the Elvis part of the show. The show's over. The real, everybody's doing the real stuff, and they're just singing gospel in the back. I don't know why that affected me so much, but it made Elvis a real person to me.
Yeah.
Like, and I love people who take care of their own, and like he made sure that everybody who was from where he was from, he was like a mother hen.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave free yayo to everybody and was like, no, we're family. Like, so I really respected Las Vegas Elvis.
Yeah.
Like he partied hard, like and respected his people and did drugs with all of his friends.
Well, if you need a great story of old fashioned singers, the last Tuesday's America Untold Stories about Jimmy Swaggart and Jerry Lee Lewis and their other cousin that I can't remember was really fascinating.
Oh, I need to look that. I need to look
Here,
that
can
up.
I drop maybe let me see if
Are you blue? You got your
be
blue,
fancy
right?
and drop the link.
I'm gonna run to the little sewing room real quick, but you're
All right.
yeah. Are you?
I can hold
you're
down
a
the
mod?
fort for a hot second. Let's see
Really?
here. Where is this?
I think you're a mod.
America's Untold Stories. I think I've got a wrench. Let's see here. Oh, I gotta stand up for this. America's Untold Stories. Let's see here. Share. Can you just give me let's see here, copy. Oh, but I have to be over here in my YouTubes. Oh, sorry, I'm just a random faceless head. Killer Ray, I was checking out that channel this week. I already love it. I know Mark Grobert seriously knows everybody. I think I said this last week. Like when he talks about Oliver, his friend Oliver, he means Oliver Stone. He was friends with Gobert Gilfried. He was friends with Belchek, who just died. Oh my God, his story about Abby Hoffman, amazing. Control V. There we go. Oh, and I mute this channel. Okay, there we go. I don't need to hear myself twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's the link to that episode. Those chaps, Eric Hunley does all sorts of behavioral analysis with different people. Those two chaps are just spectacular, and I love listening to them talk.
Do you know I'm still kind of in shock that I won in court today.
Congratulations.
I'm still like I won twice in court. Like
in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And it's all and you know what? I have to thank my enemies. I have to thank all the people. Do you know what's so funny? Like I always say, if someone comes out and they say, "Oh, what about the love? What about this? I consider it fake because they're probably a really hate-filled person, because if you have to say it and constantly remind yourself, but like people's
Right.
hatred, people hating me, people sitting around and constantly thinking about me and trying to publicly shame me, literally saved me in court. You cannot legally dox people in the state of California. And because people were screen sharing it, people were like, ha ha ha, look at Sewings, this is his moment. Like, I now, like, my neighbor's gonna move. He's gonna end up moving, all this drama because he lost twice in court, you know, and he was so entitled.
How did he have that much money to burn, or why did he feel compelled to burn money like that? It's just
Upper middle class
weird.
problem. Upper middle class
Yeah.
around here. Like, and that's another thing. Excuse me. Guess what he has to pay for?
Yeah,
He has to pay for my lawyer.
right? Because you got court costs and lawyer fees. Good job.
He has to pay for my lawyer now. You know, like, he wasted everybody's time.
Yeah.
People always talk about love or talk. Thank you. And see, like, I've been burned so many times. Like, I used to stream 2 or 3 years ago with somebody who would always say, do the hard thing and talk about love. They are scary. This person scares me, and they still stalk me to this day. Like, they scare me. They're a real life sociopath. And like, you have to have balance. I don't wake up happy. I wake up like, oh, another day.
I'm not human until I've had at least a cup and a half of coffee.
Same. You know what's so funny? When I was younger, my father, like, I would get up at like 5 in the morning with my dad. We wouldn't speak until 9 or 10. And even as an adult, when I worked with my father early in the morning, I'd pick him up in the car. We wouldn't say a word until I'd pick him up 4 o'clock in the morning. He would literally not say a word to me until 8.
He was just being considerate of your feelings.
Literally not say, oh. And my son's like that. He's like, oh, the dragon's awake. Let's not say a word to him. He's different though. He doesn't care. Like, if he has something to say, he'll say it to me. Whether he doesn't care what I look like. But it just shocks me that people, basically, I found out it was a conspiracy of people trying to shame me and somebody who hates me, who literally hates me. And like, I don't invest my time, my energy into hate-filled things. I don't. Yeah. Like, I'm rereading a Stargate book right now. Because I forgot what happens at the end. Because I found it at my mom's house. I said, oh, I haven't read this book in 28 years. You know, like, I have 15 sewing projects going on at once. I've stupidly taken on the task of a fashion show, which I have so much stuff. I'm like, this might be Godless Sewing the movie.
Just make a plan, write it out. You might have to script it out, figure out what's going to coordinate with what, so you know ahead of time to plan it out. Oh, Killer, that's funny. When I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look over at the alarm clock and say, fuck me, gotta get up. Shit, my back hurts. I concur, though it's usually my hip, but yes.
We're the same person, Kilroy. We're the same person.
No, Kilroy's got like a whole head on us, so we're not the same person, but I can still empathize.
Yeah. I wake up and I always say, like, I used to walk into a room and forget something, and my predecessor would always tell me, like, you're too young for that shit, man. And I wake up and my back hurts, and I'm like, I'm too young for this. I am too young for my back, but I'm like right around the proper age.
My excuse is my connective tissue disorder.
It is still like snow raining.
It's snowing. I should just show the picture. I know all you East Coasters are laughing at me with my 2 inches of snow, but I'm like, bring it on. I don't want to have to drive the half a mile to my office tomorrow in the morning.
I'm so sad. When I was a kid, I would be sad when it wouldn't rain because it never rains here.
Right.
So I'd be like, oh, it said it was going to rain, but it was just overcast.
Yeah, we used to have built-in snow days because unless it was snowing more than an inch an hour and the snowplows couldn't go through, like we never got snow days, and it snowed all the time.
That's crazy. That's
No, it's just not living on the West Coast.
yeah. It's so weird to me. And you know what? For all the trash I'm talking, I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't be able to handle the 100 degrees every day, the constant 95.
Yeah, I know. I have to like live in the shade because I go from I'm either vampire skinned or lobster skinned. There's no in between. I don't have a nice like I turn into a tan. I mean, I do, but it hurts that burn and peely. I would just prefer to stay vampiric.
Same. I get, because I'm like weirdly modest, I don't parade with my shirt off, but I get a weird beater tan. Because I'm like extremely
the farmer's
dark.
tan.
Oh yeah.
The
And I take my-
redneck.
Oh yeah. Oh. I'm like
I'm
three
sh-
different shades.
I'm sure up in Quebec and Stan, you've never had a snow day in your life. I bet that's true.
I would melt like an ice cube in Cali.
Yeah.
Many people have moved here and been like, no one said it was 95 every day, especially August. The dog days of summer are real.
Yep.
Like August, ever since I was a child, August is the worst month in California.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where if I don't have at least 5 days over 100 in the summer, it's not been summer.
Do you know when my first real summer in Oregon was during the Sisters Fire? Because I arrived during winter, and it was 100 something every day,
Yeah.
and people were dying. I'm like, oh, this is normal. Like
I
this is
know,
great.
right? This is a walk in the park. But they don't get it that hot that there's not air conditioners up there either, like there is down south.
I would melt like the Wicked Witch of the West in LA.
But how do I have to put in the Pennsylvania gets hot, but 90 degrees with 100% humidity sucks more balls than 0% or 17% humidity and 110 or 100. It's not the same.
I was in Texas in February, and it was like 80 degrees and humid. And it was wet. It was gross. I couldn't take it. And that was like literally like in February in Texas. I couldn't do it. I can't take it.
Heat and humidity is not the same as dry heat. Having experienced all of it.
Do you think that's why like people that are from Arizona can't handle living in Georgia? But people.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, the humidity, it's just like walking through split pea soup, and it's just like oppressive and gross.
Do you know, in a weird way, Las Vegas gets hotter than, well, we've been matching labor lately. I don't, people talk about climate change and all these things. I'm not a scientist, but it's getting hotter here. Like, it is getting hotter here. And we have weather comparable to Las Vegas. But the beautiful thing about Las Vegas is that you can walk the entire strip and not leave a building.
And you can smoke everywhere along the way.
Still.
Right?
I wonder, like, is Atlantic City like that still?
I don't know.
I can remember that one time dry heat 114 was okay, but then the breeze from the lake would come and make it a hot blast with the humidity. It's unreal.
Oh, right, because you had, let's see here, that was Lake Ontario if you're in Quebecistan. Sorry, I've been listening to this law tuber, Viva Fry, who is from Montreal, Quebec area, and he just calls it Canuckistan, and it makes me laugh, and I just adopted it.
There was one of your thumbnails. I saw a picture of a woman. Was that because it's illegal to be fatphobic in Canada or so? Like I saw some crazy article about somebody went to jail for being. I gotta look it up now because now I'm just rambling.
I don't know. I don't know which fifth. I mean,
I have to look. I have
I had the only big girl I've recently had was Anita B. Eaton, and her Twitter's has to be a troll parody account because she's got all these books that are like supposedly sold out. She hasn't posted in a while, and her sister was like, "I'm gonna be fuller," or like, it's just like, oh my god. And then somebody commented and was like, "She's my real doctor," and I'm like, you can't be a medical professional with a PhD in fat positive body medicine. Like, go shut your face.
you would get laughed at even here, and this is the land of holistic medicine, and you would get laughed out of town.
I'm like, that's not a thing. If you want her to help you die at a young age and never have children, then you go right ahead. But there's being positive in your body and being body neutral, but there's certain things that after a while the medical conditions are going to catch up with you. I'm sorry, I can't sugarcoat that one without giving you diabetes.
No, I agree with you. I have actually a very well regulated diet because of my issues, and if I deviate from it, it'll make me even more sick. You know, and if I eat things that I'm not supposed to, it will increase my illness.
Yeah.
With how humid it is here, if it gets over 100, it hurts to breathe.
Yep.
I could not.
No, it's like that in New York too. When it's like, even if it's above 90, you just you like lay around and want to die.
Jailed for face covering. I think that's what it was. I think that might be. I stopped watching Canadian news because I realized I was watching like your guys' version of Fox News.
Oh, you mean the CBC, the state-funded broadcasting that just broadcasts stupid propaganda.
That's exactly what I was watching. And I was like, well, how come, like, I'd see a story about something, then everyone was complaining about it. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching the propaganda machine. I have to stop watching this.
It's terrible. What they've done to, it's not JJ McAuliffe. What's his name? The Diagolon guy who literally lost his ability to have access to his bank in Saskatchewan, and now is like can't get a bank account with any of the other banks because he's been listed like high risk for nothing other than speaking stuff. It's just ridiculous. And
they banned religious stuff in government facilities. At least they're not as bad. Like France banned like face covering, head covering. And this was years ago. And there was riots for like months and months and months. And it's still illegal to wear a niqab in France.
Well, and Rumble got banned in France because not wanting to kowtow to their whatever privileged bullshit stuff. So they had to, some of the stations are like, if you can watch them through their local station, but you can't get Rumble in France because they wouldn't take the knee, sounds like the wrong adjective, but they wouldn't bow down to their stupid bullshit.
Kilroy, you get comment of the evening. I'll put up with somebody being okay they're overweight, but if you want to weigh so much a quarter-ton pickup can't carry you, I'll start going Al Bundy on you.
Right. If you need to literally go to the freight scale to get weighed, I think there's a problem.
I've been to the town in Mexico where they advertised that they had the fattest man in the world.
No, that was the guy in London who had to like get him. They had to cut the freaking wall out of his house and have the fire trucks. It was like, oh my God.
Same in Mexico. The exact same thing happened in Mexico. Exact same.
That's where my like scared straight is. My 600-pound life is like, no, this is why we do not emotionally eat.
I told you, between Fred Sanford's sewing machines and intervention on television, it saves me from having 700 sewing machines in this house because I have the shop space. I could easily just put them up at my job and be like, oh, I own 10,000 sewing machines because I'm crazy. Like I could, but I feel like, see, we shouldn't censor things. We need to know that these people exist to shame people like me who could easily become that.
Right, exactly. And then you can be like, I don't want young sewing to have to deal with this when I die.
Oh, you know, I always jokingly, my ex-wife, she walks in my house and she's like, dude, what are you going to do when you pass? And I'm like, I'm going to leave it all to you. And she's like, no, you're not. I said, I'm legally leave it all to you. And she's like, no, I don't want any of it.
You can leave the sewing machines to me.
There'll be one, honestly, like, if I ever did get like more terminally ill, I would start giving away my sewing machines because I don't want them. Like, I go to sewing machine auctions and I'm like, oh, somebody had to have passed because there's no way they would have given these machines away, you know, or even put them up for sale ever.
Yeah.
Didn't the French allow Sharia law for a while, and then they went after Charlie Hebdo, after all the Charlie Hebdo attacks, and someone walked into the Charlie Hebdo facility and offed a few people, they completely changed their laws. This was like, gosh, when did Charlie Hebdo happen? This was like 2018, 2017. And France had a revolution in a way. Also, France had a law where you could legally not get fired. And then they were wondering why they didn't have a workforce, you know, and then they changed the law and people rioted.
Kind of. Oh, here, you do the next comment and then I'll piggyback onto that last thing.
There was a case in Canada where there's a Jewish man working for the government was told to take off his yarmulke because they thought it was religious. What?
Oh my God, a yarmulke is so not proselytizing.
No. And you know what? I wear goofies. Like, it's basically like, get out of here. I would have yelled at someone if they had said that to me. I'd been like,
I'm gonna hurt a mofo.
Today, you know, the famous line, I guess today's my last day. Yes, a religious symbol. You can't even hang a cross on a necklace. Wow. Do you know, I'm an atheist and I'm pro rock whatever you want to. Like, I'm not anti anything at all anymore, you know? Like live and let live. That's just strange to me.
Yeah, Quebec is weird. Quebec is even more weird than the rest of Canada, it seems like, because I watched Viva Fry and all of his. He was at the Ottawa convoy protest and live streaming and talking about all that stuff that was happening. So I worry about you guys up there, and I want to see the DNA test between Trudeau and oh fudge, I'm gonna forget his name right now when I really need it. From what's that little island that was communist?
I was just having to talk about this today, Kilroy. Today I was having to talk about whether you love it or hate it. The First Amendment protects you so you can...
Right, and it protects the assholes. We need it for the people we dislike hearing the most, not for the people we like hearing.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I constantly talk about Marion Barry, because he protected the freedom of speech.
Yes.
He didn't care whether you man, he let the KKK, you know, they in the 90s, they had the real like skinhead Nazi party would go to DC and be protected by black cops. That's freedom of speech. That is freedom of speech. You know, you have the right to get tomatoes thrown at you by other citizens.
Exactly. Thank you, Mark Short. It is Cuba. Yes, I want to see the DNA test because Trudeau's mom was hanging out with Fidel Castro around the same time, holding hands, being all sweet. Like, is Trudeau Castro's love child?
I would flout that for other reasons. At my job, they used to call me El Presidente, and they bought me. Where's my hat? Oh, okay, I know where it is.
All right, Allie, it has its own laws. In France, stop signs are stop signs, but in Quebec, they're arrête signs. Oh, Ollie again, Cuba, the small commie country. Yes, Trudeau and Castro almost look alike. I know, there's pictures. You see it, and it's legitimately true of the pictures of like his mommy holding hands or being extra close with Castro. I have questions. I have big questions.
So they gave me this at my job a long time ago, but they call me El Presidente, and they also
Fields Negro. Oh gosh,
Fidel,
should I have just said that out loud?
they call me Fidel Negro. Because I tell them El Presidente is too. I said that's a weird title. They said okay, and I told them my new name is Fidel Negro, and they love me for it. And so
Trudeau
Fidel,
looks
the
like his
name
dad,
is
Pierre.
like his dad Pierre. You know, I had a good friend when I was a kid, whose mother was this gorgeous 6'2" woman. Okay, and she was in quite a few music videos. And would hang out with like real 1980s raw long hair rockers. I probably hung out with famous people and didn't even know it. Okay, let's just put it that way. When I was a kid, never knew who his father was. I guarantee it was probably somebody in Metallica, somebody like
White
you know.
Snake.
I'm not kidding you, and I won't say who his mother is because she's like legitimately, and it's not Tawny Katane, but she's legitimately in a ton of like old school 80s videos. Like legitimately. And I never met his father, and he always lived with his mother. And if you're watching, I love you and I miss you.
Oh, Alien, I never liked either of the Trudeaus. Yeah, I don't know. You guys are just hit with your like the Bill C-11 that was gonna like. Did that go through with all the censorship that all the YouTubers were worried that they were gonna get shunned for not having enough Canadian content?
What does that even mean? Like do you have to like be waving a flag and like
I haven't schooled up on it in a while, but it was
because
weird.
lately
It was funny when Ian Runkle, who is a huge gun lawyer, might have won a bill for the Second Amendment here in this country for the Gundys, which would have been really funny. They're trying to pay C-11 again. Oh my God, why is Canada so? I just worry about you guys. I was gonna say dumb, but I don't want to be mean. But I'm worried about you guys up there.
what's C-11?
It's the Canadian, like the censorship of internet stuff. If it's not Canadian enough, you gotta be shotgunning a bottle of maple syrup. Yes.
So I don't know why, but I am being stalked by a Canada commercial on YouTube, okay? And it's like, come to Canada. No, it's Maple Leave. Because they're trying to, I don't know why, and they're advertising towards Americans, and half of us can't cross over to your country because you have hardcore laws. Like if you have a felony, if you have a blurb, they won't let you in that country. Like an unpaid ticket, Canada does not play. But they're like pushing for people to move to Canada, and they're literally like eating pancakes, and one person's waving a flag. Like, of course, they're playing hockey.
Of course.
Oh, in my experience, Canadians are naive as hell.
I don't know, though I do miss driving over the border to Toronto to go see shows because it was faster to go to Toronto to see musicals than it was to drive to New York City. So I've been to Toronto a number of times.
Oh, Mark Short, I love this girl. I don't know why they're complaining. Weird Al has them recognized with Canadian Idiot. I love Weird Al. That is somebody I would pay to go see.
Oh, the Amish song.
Absolutely. I love all, even like Eat It, all the old classics.
Oh yes. Why didn't the body positivity fat loving folks get Eat It as their theme song?
Also the Amish Paradise.
Yes!
I love all of them.
Amish Paradise.
When I was a kid, we would rent a movie every week, from the video store kids. This was like even before Blockbuster was around. And I rented UHF. I love Weird Al. I absolutely love. So I hope it doesn't get canceled. Every time I say like I love that person, I go on Twitter and they're getting canceled like the day that I'm like I love this guy. Problem for some time, SCTV made fun of it and came up with Bob and Doug McKenzie. The politicians want control over Canadian culture. They hand out tax money for production. Just vote them back in. That's so sad. That's funny but sad.
I know, is that why
America.
the Trailer Boys got canceled?
I love
Or the
that
Trailer
show.
Park Boys?
I freaking loved that show. It makes a lot of sense though. Like, yeah, I don't know how you can censor what people are gonna say though, because the more you tell someone to not do something, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
There are legit tour buses full of Canadians that come all the way down here to buy clothes because clothes are already cheaper in the US and PA has no sales tax. Wow. Or sewing stuff. Wow.
Yep. That's been true for a long time that folks would cross the border. Oh, I honestly miss going to Niagara Falls. And unfortunately, I have to say the Canadian side is way cooler than the American side.
I used to go to like Vancouver and Vancouver Island, but that's just because they had like mushrooms and like really, really dank and really good pot. Like
I wasn't old enough, but Niagara Falls, if you've never been, it's amazing. It's worth the trip. Really?
That's awesome. They filmed Sons of Anarchy by my job. And it was weird to find out some of those guys were real bikers and other ones were just like literal paid actors.
But Ellie, it sounds like you know everybody because you know Shannon makes too. And I bet you she knows my friend Ty, who went to the circus school in Quebec and is also a juggling clown steer wheel artist. And there's not that many.
I like Vancouver Island. And yes, on the way. Do you know, because I'm from a certain era, people who openly use drugs trip me out. And so when I would go places, like when I'm saying like the hippie chick with dreads, like I'm not kidding. Like literally walked up to me and was like, "Oh, you look cool, take this." And I'm like, "Thank you." Literally
Do you think
had
dreads are cultural appropriation on white people?
no, but I grew up around white people.
Okay, fair.
No, but I grew up in a white, like I grew up in the suburbs, you know. So I do not necessarily think it's cultural appropriation because like you go to Egypt, they have dreads and they consider themselves more Saudi than African, you know.
Right.
Is that cultural? Like it's not cultural appropriation.
Yeah, I've just been hearing a lot of like white costumers being like, white people shouldn't have dreads, and I was just curious from a different perspective.
I do not. I know it's gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings, but no one owns culture. Right now, if you wanted to start dressing like a rapper and start wearing baggy pants and like change your whole demeanor, no one is anyone to tell you not to. If you started if you became cyber goth overnight, no one, you know what I'm saying? That's not cultural appropriation. You just felt like being a cyber goth, you know?
Well, cyber gothic, never mind, but it's
Pennsylvania used to be a global leader in the fabric and clothing industry because that is why we don't have sales tax. Oh, okay. Killer also so polluted. That's anywhere that has textile. We're not as bad as India, but that's anywhere that has.
it's true. But also, there's the West Valley nuclear plant. There's some weird shit in the Great Lakes that's going to be a problem for that part of the country in the next few years.
Honestly, when do they not have problems? Like since I was a kid,
Fair.
they've always had problems in the Great Lakes area. Everybody, because they'll say, "Oh, they're Flint, Michigan. Look at how the water."
They still don't have water though.
Yeah, but no one in that area has water. You
No,
know?
but
like,
their stuff is new. But they're not taking care of it. The problem with the Great Lakes is that they all feed into each other. So it's not just one state that's affected. It's how many from Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, plus it feeds into the Niagara River out to the ocean. It's hundreds of millions of, maybe not millions, but it's a lot of water that's affected in the Great Lakes.
That's crazy to me. And people swear that we, oh no, if I dump this here, it's not going to affect anyone else.
Yeah, no, bullshit. East Palestine is a way bigger problem than they're making it out to be. And I think that the lies that are being told are bullshit.
In the Book of Regulations, when you buy a fishing license here, you're warned not to eat too much fish out of Lake Erie because of the mercury concerns. Gross.
No, it's true. My friend, I used to work when I was an undergrad. One of my professors worked as a scientist who was studying the mercuries, PCBs, and dioxins in Lake Erie because that's what we had access to. And it was bad back in the early aughts, and it's not getting any better. And that's when we used to joke that you would wash your hands before you went to the toilet, not afterwards, because we played with some weird shit in the river. St. Lawrence River, yep, that one too.
Oh, he's all blushy and he ran. I'm like, you have a good time? He's like, of course I did.
Oh, snooking in the corner in the Narc movie theater like we all did.
His mom will text me all the juicy details.
All the deets. You're just waiting. You're like, okay, drive home so I can get the deets. We gotta get off the stream so I can get the deets in a minute here.
Oh, we always text each other back and forth. Like the other day, I thought I heard something, and I was like, I think they said I love you. She called me, and she's like, oh, what do we do about this? Are they that like? You know, we had a conference meeting at like 11 o'clock at night. We had a committee meeting. Like, wait a minute, how do we feel about this?
And then at the same time, I'm like, do our feelings matter? And it's just, how are we going to deal with it?
Do you know what my thing is? Because I was Georgie Porgy as a kid, and I would like fall in love and cry. You got to let your kids experience life.
Yeah.
You got to let them skin their knees. You got to let them feel a little bit within reason, you know. Life is a great teacher.
It is. We can't learn their lessons for them. We can know what's best, but sometimes the best thing to do is to sit back and shut up.
Absolutely. A long time ago, I used to listen to a sports commentator named Colin Cowherd, and he would more talk about life. And before I basically had a painting business, so I was always outside. And I would always listen to him on the radio. And one day he went off about how we don't own our children. We're facilitators. Yeah. And it's true. I don't look at my son as like a possession. I look at him as I'm teaching him to go out in the world after I'm gone. Like he will be the sum total of everything I ever taught him, everything he ever heard of when I'm gone, you know?
Right. He's not your chattel. He's your spawn.
Exactly. And it's our job to make sure that they're equipped for whatever world we live in, regardless of that world. And I feel like sometimes people, they feel like they own their child, or they turn them into a mini you. Like, you better really like yourself then.
Fair. I know. That's what I don't know what's going to happen. I have a relative who is not going to be capable of living independently, and I don't know what facilities are going to deal with him in the future.
You know what? I worry about that too a lot. Like, even recently with that job, gotta let them do their fuck up so they can learn from them. It's so true. Like that job that I've turned down multiple times now.
Yeah.
I saw the sum result of what happens when you don't watch your child, when you don't pay attention to your kid, when you let just anybody, when you throw money at a problem. Like, right. Being rich solves nothing. You still have to be in the present.
More money, more problems.
Well, the truth is, like, you know what the tax on $1 million is, right?
Well, depending on if you're self-employed, it's 33%. So that's $333,000. Well,
the running joke is the tax on $1 million is $1 million. Like, it's the business joke of like, yeah, you made $1 million, but you spent $1 million, $1.5 million, to get there,
Yeah. Oh, don't get me. Don't make me depressed. I want to end on a high note.
I know. I am getting that. I am getting that that feeling of I'm about to raid my kitchen, you know. I'm about to go on a full Viking raid into my kitchen.
Yeah.
And I feel vindicated, and I'm just remembering that I ordered a pizza earlier.
Well, did you remember, did it actually get delivered, or did you know that it was supposed to show up?
I order a place like literally up the street from my house. It's a shame that I don't walk there. I should. Thunderfoot did a video on that crash and follows on his Voice of Thunder channel. He goes over the chemistry and numbers, and it's not too bad long term. Interesting.
Well, that's good, because the short-term stuff I heard, especially because it was in Amish country, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know who to believe anymore, because I feel like everybody's lying to me.
Same. Honestly, same. That's one of the reasons I sit at my house and I'm just like, I'm gonna watch old British shows from the 70s, 80s, and 90s because the world is just falling apart.
Oh, are you being served?
I love Captain Peacock. And Don Iman, like, he couldn't say that he was gay, so they would constantly infer, like, or I love that show. I absolutely. And on one of my old videos, like back when I like was just messing around with editing, not knowing what I was doing, I used the Australian "Are You Being Served" theme twice in my opening. I love that show.
Yeah.
And if you're ever bored, type in what's it called? I'm sorry. Are You Being Served Australia? It is the same show with John Iman, but with people from Australia. Same episodes, but they're a little bit more raunchy because it's Australian.
Yeah.
In Australian, like they make Americans look like pure prudes. Okay, so do you have anything that you'd like to promote?
Let's read these fast two
Okay.
chats, and then I will shill my shelf.
Hours.
When the fish migrate, we will see how bad the water is. When they test the veg produce, we will know exactly if they spend the money to do the testing.
Thunderfoot is straight up, and he's a research scientist.
All right, I give props to people who actually know their stuff. All right, my shilling. I'm Phoenix Electric Circus on all the socials: YouTube, Instagram, the Twatters, Rumble, Locals, though I'm not doing anything over there very much, and I should be. I have a show at least once a week on Sundays, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I would love to have you all and everybody who's come over and hung out with my chats. You are great, and I greatly appreciate you are. Here's my hearts to all. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Godless's channel, and stay safe. Oh, don't wait until tomorrow to be fabulous today, and don't laugh at others unless you've laughed at yourself today.
I like that. So because I'm fresh off of victory, I'm going to humbly
go eat some pizza.
Yeah. No, I want to thank everybody who's been watching, anyone who watches this in the future. I absolutely thank you. And I say reinforce your seams and always be yourself for a reason, because you have to have self-care. You have to love who you are, or just like yourself, because if not, you're going to be like my hate-filled sister and my neighbor going after a grown 40-something-year-old man. So to everyone who loves, everyone who hates, I will see you next week. You guys are absolutely awesome. Rock out with your clock out, and I will definitely see you next time.